This is the Colorado Alert. Civil defense information will be broadcast at 6:40.
West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Y2K, how can we prepare?
Stop a few of their machines and radios. Throw them into darkness for a few hours.
We are fighting for our lives. My family must survive.
Oh, for 5 years. 1,000 gallons of gas, air filtration, water filtration.
Coming at you from the frozen tundra that is East Central Alberta, Canada. Streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble, and Odyssey. Welcome back to the workshop where we create community, find freedom, promote preparedness, and share success. I'm Toolman Tim. Today is February the 18th, 2024, and this is episode 427 of Workshop Radio. How are all my fellow delinquents out there? I have a very beautiful and special guest this evening. How are you, ma'am?
Good. Good.
Haven't had you. Technically, you were on for about 15 minutes.
Yeah, and then Donald kicked me off.
Yeah, he's rude that way,
yeah.
You know. So, but that's all right. So we decided it's been a while since you came on. We kept saying it'd been a while since you came on. So tonight we're gonna share our top. Well, we each have 10 items. So we're gonna do top 20 Amazon must-haves that we've bought in like the last 3 or 4 months, right?
Yeah, well, must-haves for us.
For us, yes, that's our must-haves. Doesn't mean everybody else has to buy them.
Well, but if we're saying like you probably should.
Oh yeah, shit that you love, shit that I love, right? Yeah. So we're gonna do that first, and then we got a couple of questions from the audience, and if you got questions as we go along, and we'll do after we get the meat of the episode done, then we'll kind of share what's going on in our lives and what's up, eh, baby?
Yeah.
Sound good?
Do you want to turn those lights off?
Yeah, turn them right off for you. Here we are. See, we have the technology. There, is that better?
Yep, this one.
Oh, see, we have the technology when it works. There we go.
There we go. Much better. I can see.
Just going to quickly shout out. I see
camera's going.
That's okay.
There we go.
There we are. One step closer. I see Digger. We got Homestead Medical, Cold War Prepper. Great to have you. So, with that, let's bring up the screen here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through. We got 20 of them. We're going to alternate back and forth. My picks, which are right, and then we're going to go to Becky's picks, which are
better,
less. So
they're better.
Yeah. All right. So this one here, guys, this was one. And why? This is the light, isn't it? That's going to do that all night. Is it going to go fuzzy on us?
All right, well,
there we go. Yeah, we're good. All right. So first one I got here is 520 square feet. All right, guys, just so you know,
Angus.
Yep. I could be in here all night. Nobody bothers the studio whatsoever. As soon as Mama comes in, Mr. Doggy sits outside the door trying to get in. So anyway, you might hear him, you might not.
Well, if he gets too obnoxious,
we'll let him in. Yeah. All right. So item number 1. This one is 520 square feet of parchment paper, something you would also use. But for us, it's, well, since I've set up the freeze drying room behind us, the biggest pain in the nuts that I found recently has been trying to keep things from sticking. Remember, I bring them upstairs and you're like, oh, stuff's stuck all over the silver pans again.
Yay, more for me to wash.
More for you to wash. So I looked at the reusable silicone pads, and they're not cheap.
No, they're not actually. They're costly.
The other problem was I have to bring them up and wash them because shit still sticks to them, right?
Well, and they get a film on them too.
They do, yeah. Especially if you don't like boil them in hot water and use Dawn dish detergent, Yeah. So I started looking. There is some freezedryersupplies.com sells pre-cut sheets of parchment paper, but again, they ain't cheap. They work out to like 25 cents a sheet, which is something you're going to throw out. To me, seems kind of expensive. So I found there's a really good channel called School Reports, which is an awful name for a YouTube channel, but he does freeze drying stuff, and he's an old dude and he's cheap like me on some things. So this roll here is wide enough that you can take a circular or a chop saw, go slow, cut it down the middle, and then cut a little bit off the side, and then you have a perfect width roll for your trays. So now I can roll them out, cut them off, and throw them away. And this worked out to, what did I say? It was about 2 cents a sheet.
I can't remember.
Yeah, but by doing this, I end up with 500 or 600 sheets, which is enough to do probably, 100, 200 loads. So kind of beats.
Well, yeah, because you can flip it over and use the underside of it too.
And if it's a clean load, if it's something that doesn't stick, you just reuse the parchment. We've done that for years, haven't we?
Oh yeah, as long as it's not greasy and it doesn't give off any gross residue, you can reuse.
Because I mean, we do that with the trays in the bottom of the oven, right?
Yep.
If they work, if the stuff didn't stick and it's not too dirty, we
usually
just
like cookies and stuff like that, and then you can flip it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You making cookies?
No.
Oh man, you made muffins today, but they're for the daycare, so I can't eat them.
Well, you already had one.
I did have one, yes. Hey, and welcome our neighbor from down the road in Tennessee, Off Grid Ping, and our neighbor from down under, Ellen from Australia. So met her at Prepper Camp 2 years ago. All right, so that's item number one. It's 520 square feet of parchment paper, and you can cut it however you want, but it works really well for freeze drying trays if anybody's looking. And shameless plug, but all the links are going to be below tonight, because what ends up happening is we do these episodes and then people say, well, where's the link? How do I find it? So I'm going to remind everyone as we go along. All right, Mrs. Cook, you're up. What do we got here? You ready? Oh, what's this?
Those are soda can organizers.
Yes. So why did you pick them up?
Honestly, because I don't know. I think it's a woman thing.
No, it's fine.
But when I'm like, I guess when my anxiety's bugging me, I have to organize. So, and I've been, just been really stressed. So I've been on like this organization kick, and it makes me feel better. But we buy the Costco pop cases, and we were just cutting the plastic off and sliding the whole case in the top. And I found it was just taking up too much room.
It was taking up a lot of space.
So these guys here, they come in the 4-pack, and you put them on we put them on the top shelf, and you push them to the back. And I found, since I've done it, the fridge has more light because now the one part's open, and then you can put things in front of it too. Little bit more of a pain in the ass having to refill them because it doesn't hold as much. But
it's not that bad.
It's not horrible.
I actually like it.
I do too. I like the idea when you open, because I said that last night. I said there's more light in the fridge.
Yeah.
And you can actually see things now.
And I was also kind of worried about that upper shelf because with 232 cases on that top, I don't even know why they designed it that way, but you got a top glass shelf that goes all the way across and with not a single bit of reinforcement in the middle.
I think it would have been okay.
It would have until it wasn't.
Yeah. But
so.
it was okay. But I don't know. I like them. And there is something similar that you can get that I believe it's a little bit bigger, and it's for soup cans.
Yes.
And I was going to get those for our pantry so that we can
the downstairs pantry.
So we can get rid of all those like random half cases of soup that we and the random cans that are just kind of sitting on the shelf.
I would love those because there was a guy, I don't know if anybody saw the video on TikTok recently, but the guy bought this house. It wasn't his. Somebody put it in there before, but you could tell it was done in the 70s or 80s.
Okay.
And it had all the old wood paneling in the basement. And if you slid it back, they made these return racks in there for cans. So you'd put it in on top and it would roll all the way down.
That would be cool.
It was awesome. It was just hollow basement walls they used for it.
I'd like to get my hands on those can dispensers that the grocery stores have.
Oh, I know.
Like, and then kind of just like make a big shelf that it can sit on, and then you could fill it with like all the kinds that you eat.
Maybe next time if we go in and buy like all the flavors of one type of soup, we'll just take it up with the canister and be like, they told us we could take it.
I think it's one big unit though, isn't it? I don't know, but the one they have here at the IGA is actually really cool.
I have a Dodge. We can handle it.
So. I think there's got to be, you probably buy those at some sort of restaurant supply store or something.
I'll bet you dollars to donuts Amazon has them too.
Oh, they probably do. I never went to those extremes looking, because then we'd have to worry about cutting shelves.
So how's the plastic feel? Is it sturdy?
It's very sturdy.
Is it? Yeah.
I don't think it would survive if it fell off the top shelf and hit the floor on full force. I have a feeling it would probably crack.
So as long as I don't touch it, it'll be fine.
I would think so. Yeah.
Now I got to ask one more thing though, because that appears to hold 10 cans. Is that right?
I believe
1,
so.
2, 3. Why would they make it hold 10 cans?
I don't know. But you could put like more cans on top.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on how much space you have between the top of your fridge, because like as long as you're stacking, they're not going to go anywhere.
No, I suppose. But I don't know. To me, it makes it. Why not put 12 so it holds?
Well,
that
was
right?
like the thing I seen the other day on the I don't know who posted it, but it was on Facebook. I think it was Kendra.
Okay.
She posted, and it was an egg holder, and it only held 10 eggs. And like, why would it only hold 10 eggs when you buy eggs by the dozen, right? Like that didn't make any sense to me.
I know. Yeah,
Is it because of the light?
I think it probably is.
You can turn the light back on.
I think it's probably, I moved, so I've been trying to make everything look really nice lately for everybody. Been working with a few things, and I think that'll help. Sorry about that. Yeah.
That's okay.
I think it's having that, the sign directly behind your head. I think that's what's messing with the autofocus. So I'll smash it later just to,
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it. But I that's a sure sign that we're heading toward the apocalypse is that they make an egg container that holds 10 eggs. Because we all know that chickens lay eggs by the dozen in the wild, right?
Yeah, I just don't understand why we would even like waste the plastic making a 10 egg holder. I
don't know. I guess you got to eat the first 2 raw.
Well, just like the 10 cans, like you either buy them by half a dozen or a dozen.
It's a conspiracy by the big can. So they're going to start shrinking the packages to 10 cans.
Probably. And
then charge us for the 12 can price. I think so. Anybody else? I mean,
or you'll get 12 cans that are only like half full.
There's no bigger cabal in the world than big soda. Let's put it that way. So, all right, here's my next one. What do we got? All right, this is an easy one. And I think there's going to be a video coming up this week on it because recently we got back into trying to finish up our 1 year supply of dry goods, right?
I think we finished, didn't we? Or we a couple more?
We're really close. I think we maybe three more 5-gallon buckets, and we should be at that 1 year mark of. I mean, could we survive off it? Yes. Would it be ideal? Well, no, but that's why we're freeze drying to add some.
Sure.
Just going to pop back in the comments for a minute here. Ellen says just like 8-pack hot dogs and 6-pack buns.
Yep.
Yeah, makes no sense, right? Or when I was a kid, that Crosby's juice. They used to come in a 3-pack. So inside you had a plastic bag and inside had 3 paper pouches. Do you remember that stuff? So it was like fruit punch or orange.
Yeah, and it was like and you only added like 3 cups of water to each pouch.
Yeah, but so 2 bags were big enough to fill a pitcher.
Yeah.
But they put 3 in a package. Growing up, it was always a single paper envelope inside a ripped open plastic bag in mom's pantry. Always. Yeah. Because you'd use 2 and
Well, and then but I think even the big packs of hot dogs at Walmart, aren't they an 18 or a 20 pack?
Sure.
And you have to buy 2 12 packs
of
buns. So yeah.
There's somebody, I've seen a video one time who went on to try to explain it, and I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever.
It doesn't make any sense.
So this one, $21.99. I suppose I should mention the prices too, but so this one's 5-gallon Mylar buckets, bags. Something we had, we enjoyed these ones way more, didn't we? Because so if you're looking for 5-gallon bags to fill a 5-gallon bucket for long-term storage, look for the ones with the pleated bottoms. That made a huge difference, didn't it? Because they kind of stand up on their own.
Well, I like the idea of the Ziploc.
Yes.
That was a lot nicer than the other ones because you could use the Ziploc to the very end and then just leave a small opening and you could push all the air out and seal it without having to fight against the straightener.
That was a big,
So that was a lot easier to do.
When we sealed them up last year, because we use a hair straightener for them.
Yep.
And when we sealed them up last year, we had 1 of 2 options. We try to push all the air out, then seal the whole thing. Or,
as quickly as possible.
Or more than likely what we would do is we'd seal most of it. And then I'd try to push the air out while the thing was melting hot in my hand. So this was way better because with the seal on top, you could go all the way across and just leave like about an inch to push the air out, right?
And I think they're actually cheaper than what we paid last year.
I think so too. And they're really well made.
$21, that seems cheaper than the ones we bought.
And I mean, even if somebody says, well, $21 for 5 bags, that's about $4.50 a bag, but they're good for 30 years.
Was it 5 bags or was it 10 bags? I think it's 10 bags.
Oh, 10 bags. You're right. Yeah, my bad. Yeah. So $2. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
No, and of course, but they're resealable.
Yep. So that's the other thing we liked about them. They had you can't see in the picture, but they had a little tear strip. So, 3 years, 10 years down the road, when Mad Max happens and we have to sit around and eat beans and rice and beans, at least we'll be able to reseal our bags so
keep
that
the bugs out of it.
Yeah. So the bloodhounds won't find them. Right.
Angus.
Although I would say, a few weebles or whatever, some bugs, they just add protein anyway.
No.
That's what eventually we're going to eat insects. You've heard that.
I'm never going to eat insects. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you do you, but I'm not going to bother.
And one more thing to look for when you're buying Mylar bags for long-term storage are these suckers right here. Almost all of them come with O2 absorbers, but there's a few that don't. So
And don't put them in with your brown sugar.
Yes. Yep. So anything sugar, that's right. White sugar, brown sugar, or salt.
Yep.
And why is that, Mrs. Cook? Because it'll make it
well,
rock,
it'll
right?
it'll rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, it pulls the moisture out of it.
Yeah,
You
and
need
it just
the
makes it
moisture,
into a
especially
brick.
in brown sugar.
Yes.
Like you need the moisture in there.
I mean, you could
don't-
beat it apart with a maul or a sledgehammer. But
Well, and
what's
I don't
the sense?
recommend throwing like slices of bread in the Mylar bags. It's probably not the best option.
I wouldn't want to incorporate anything weird like that,
No.
But just make sure you get your O2 absorbers, and that way, their size to the bag as well. All right, what do we got next for you there, Darylyn? Let's see. You ready?
Probably more organization.
Oh,
yeah.
just so you know, I put it in the comments. There's a lot of organization because 'tis the season. And,
Well, and it's been helping. So
right.
Yeah,
Oh,
so-
hold on before we go on.
Yeah.
Our friend from up the road there, Lone Canadian.
Yeah.
If you're storing rice, now you friggin' tell me. We've already sealed them up, and I ain't reopening them. They're good for 30 years. But it says if you're storing rice, put bay leaves in to keep out the weevils.
okay.
What? So are we anti-weevil now? Is that it?
I don't like
I don't want weevils either.
No, they're gross.
All right. So what do you got here, baby?
These are spice containers that because when you buy spices, I don't know. It's not, I think it's everywhere. You get them in those stupid little packages with the resealable top, and those tops never reseal.
Nope.
It doesn't matter how hard, and then they all get thrown onto a shelf. And when you have kids or teenagers, especially
Or husbands. Don't forget about husbands.
Well,
Yeah.
I say especially Alice, because she's always cooking and using different spices and stuff, but she'll sift through all the bags, send them flying, and then we get little spicks. And when I took all the bags out, the shelf was just covered with about 15 different spices. It
smelled good.
But
Kind of.
it's just everywhere. And of course, every time you pull them out, they're going onto the floor and on the counter and everything. So I was just getting tired of it. So these were actually really cool. They came with a bunch of sheets that with the pre-typed labels and everything, and they're just stickers.
And there was lots of them.
There was lots of them, and the little silicone funnel that worked great too. And
oh, you used that, did you?
did.
I came, where was I, downstairs?
Yeah.
I was on my live stream. I come up and the house is the back deck was just full of empty containers. I'm like, oh, Mama's been organizing.
Yeah, no, but they look really nice.
They do.
It was a whole shelf about, I don't know, almost 2 feet long.
Yeah.
And I condensed it to a foot. And they stack nice and they line up nice. And
You know what I really like about them? The square design.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Because and it's going to sound foolish, but for organizing square, they fit in perfectly, use up all your space.
Mhm.
Unlike traditional spice jars that come round, how much wasted space do you have, right?
Well, and they held a lot more than I thought they would.
Well, that's what I was
And then they
wondering.
come with the little tiny plastic cap that you put over top that's got the shaker. And
Okay.
so yeah, no, they're
And these
it's
are-
actually really, really
And these
good
are
design.
glass, right?
Yeah, they are glass.
And nice metal lids too, which
Yeah.
I thought was kind of
And they're
cool.
really affordable. It was, they're $22.
Yeah, for 24 of them.
And that's with the labels, the plastic, and they have the little best before stickers that you can put on the back, and you can write your expiry date and everything on them. So,
I didn't know spices expired.
well, they do.
Growing up, Mom had a
Oh, well, I went through the cupboard and we had some spices that were from 2015. That's when they expired. So I'm like, theirs are going to go.
Well, I will tell you right now that Mom had some turmeric when I was a kid that was gray because it was from back when things were black and white, not in color. It was that old. It was unreal. So yeah, I'm telling you, it was bad. But yeah, so these look awesome in the shelf, and it's just one of those. Yes. Okay. So Lone Canadian, he says, okay, so you're putting links to these. Yes. So all the links, just to be a dick, all the American links are in the description.
Why the American links?
Because that's the place that I have the affiliates. set
Oh,
up
okay.
with.
yes. Because these were all bought on the
But
CA.
I will send
So-
you the Canadian links, Lone Canadian, anyone you want. And I'm pretty sure it's time for me to set up my Canadian affiliate program again.
I think so.
Because when I started, I had 12 followers, and they kicked me out because they didn't get any sales. So,
No, they kicked you out because you have a bad attitude.
well, that's true. No, that's why you kicked me out. No, actually, I think you like it when I have a bad attitude.
No, but you'll like these. They're really nice.
They're heavy glass, which I like, and Lone Canadian says, don't forget, I know where you live. I know you do. That's okay. I don't mind.
Yeah, but I find, and they had the two different stickers too. They had the nice white ones, and they had these black ones, and then it comes with a a chalk marker so you can like write your own
yeah.
and they had some empty ones. So like if I order more jars, I have like an absurd amount of stickers left still too. So
Can you save? The biggest problem is we're going to set them somewhere.
nope, I know where they are.
Good.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the next one. What do we got? Aha, more Milo. I know. Can you imagine? So here's the deal. Because I'm a geek and I like to price and find things, this is the absolute cheapest that I could personally find my 2-quart Mylar bags on Amazon. It's a really good deal because it also includes the absorbers. The first couple of batches I bought didn't come with the absorbers, remember? And so I ran out over Christmas and I was like 2 weeks where I couldn't freeze dry.
And this is for your freeze dryer.
This is for the freeze dryer. Yep. So these are really nice. They're pleated. The first batch I had wasn't. So for those who don't, or is that pleated? Is that the right word? I think it is. Anyway,
there's like a Ziploc or whatever.
Yeah. So it has a Ziploc at the top and then the bottom is spread out so it sits flat.
Okay.
You get, in my mind, I get more in the bag because it opens up at the bottom. Plus it'll stand there. And if I'm careful, pouring things in. They've held up. I haven't had a single seal failure and I'm using the chamber vac with them. And these are the perfect size for, I believe mine's a 10 by 12 chamber sealer, but it works great. So, and again, they have the resealable little tear strip. And that's really all I need. That I love it. It's a perfect size.
I don't think you've reused any of them, have you? Or are those all the older ones that we've been opening for the dogs?
Those are the older ones that didn't before I had a chamber vac, So, but it says it's best to subtract a minimum of 15% to allow some air room. So there's something wrong with that English there, but yeah, anyway, so this is the best deal I could find. It was right now 50, am I in the right one? $56.99. I thought I was, yeah, right there. $56.99 for 100 of them. And that includes the oxygen absorber. So that was by far, there it is. Yeah, the pleated bags. Yep. Yes. And I noticed that too. Brian Roberts says, I like the pleated bags for storage. They stack opposite of each other. Good. And so I have those tough totes and he's right about that. So I'll do a line going this way with the bottoms down. And then the next line I go with the bottoms up and they fit in between. Seem to get quite a bit more space in them. But,
well, I know. And I'd say
it's all right.
We're getting a good supply going if the damn dogs stay.
I know. You're always saying,
I know.
Oh, honey, the dogs need a treat. So then the freeze.
Well, it is funny though, because every time he comes up the stairs, our one Matilda, she's his number one fan. Soon as he comes up the stairs, she goes booking it to the kitchen because she thinks that you have freeze dried.
Especially if she hears a Mylar bag rattling.
Mm-hmm.
But every time, because she knows if I'm down here, right now I've got about 10 pounds of ground beef in the freeze dryer, and she'll know it. Angus comes down while I'm packaging, and I always have to throw something on the floor for him.
But she waits for you to come up because that's all she wants.
Oh yeah. I even gave Angus a little piece of freeze-dried chocolate milk yesterday or 2 days ago. I know I'm a bad pup daddy, but it worked. So he shut up for a minute.
Well, anyway, and we did establish that we think Angus has ADHD.
So he definitely does.
Chocolate's not the best for him.
All right, baby. What we got for you? I'm going to guess it's another organizer. There you go.
Yep.
These are nice.
Yes.
Tell us where you use these first and what are they?
Well, we have in our hallway, we have a bunch of, I don't know. I think they're like wall cupboards,
but they're narrow.
They're very narrow, and the end cupboard, well, the middle cupboard and the end cupboard are what we call, I call it the kids cupboards.
Yeah, the snack cupboards.
Because the girls, they come home at lunchtime and they always bring a whole crowd of kids with them.
Yeah, they do.
So I keep snacks in there for them, and I go up to Costco and I buy those big bags of like the Snappers and the OMGs and gummy bears,
mini cookies, whatever teenagers like.
Yeah, basically 100% sugar, and then I send them back to school so the teachers can deal with them. But it's so what happened? It's the same thing with the spice bags. Those Ziploc, they never reseal.
Never.
And I bought them these frosted soda pop candies, marshmallow ones. And they didn't reseal. And if you throw those hard enough, they would probably go through a wall.
Oh, you chip a tooth on them.
Yeah, like they're rock hard because they don't get resealed. So these here, like one of the bottom, bottom area there,
right
like
there?
Yeah, these guys, they hold an entire bag pretty much of like
pasta?
those Snappers or gummy bears.
Okay. Yep.
And then they come with the labels, and you put it on there, and they're airtight. And
yeah, they have a rubber gasket on them, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
so
I was able
huge.
to put the entire their entire 2 shelves into one shelf.
Yeah.
And they work really good. They stack nice and they hold a lot.
It's going to be nice to see, and I'm sure they do, but it's going to be nice to see long term how the like soft gummies or different things hold up, because again, that's the biggest problem is we end up wasting a bunch of shit because the kids open it up and then they don't reseal. Well, they
try, but they don't lock.
No.
And like I said, like I pulled those those marshmallows out, and they would have like I said, you could have thrown them through something because they were rock hard. And like the big bottles or the big ones there on the side here, you only get 2, which really sucks.
Those guys, the pasta. Yeah.
Yeah, but that held an entire 2 kg bag of sugar.
Really? So that's 5 pounds in Freedom units. Yeah.
Yeah. So that held an entire bag of sugar.
That's impressive.
And then I used the other big one for Alice's cookies. She likes those.
Oh, the mini cookies?
No. The caramel.
Oh yeah,
celebration cookies.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
how about those medium?
That held an entire bag of icing sugar and brown sugar.
Yeah,
and
then the smaller.
I put like the Jelly Bellies and the gummy bears and everything in those ones.
And then you use those mostly for leftovers, the tiny ones.
The tiny ones I just use if there was like the snappers, for example, would have all fit.
Okay.
But they're really, really big. And if I had jammed them in there, it would have broke them up.
Right.
So I overflow to the small ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Lone Canadian says gummies are better when they're stale and hard.
And they break a tooth.
Yeah.
Right?
So this one here, just so everybody can see, this is $46.99 for 32 pieces.
It's and then you get a coupon.
Yep, $5. Always look, guys. I know it should go without saying, but man, Amazon, especially the foreign sellers and stuff. I don't know if you guys can see that name. It says the VTOP Mart store. They just have, it's like they put the company name into an AI generator and they're like, okay, pick some consonants that no human being could ever pronounce and then go with it.
But it might, like, $41 might seem like a lot, but it actually, you get quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
And they're quite a thick plastic. Like they're really nice. Like, I don't think they would withstand a big drop. Like they would probably chip or crack.
But the other day they held up pretty good when you threw one at my head. So, I mean, yeah.
And I don't recommend putting them in the dishwasher. That probably
wouldn't
be. I hand wash them. And I try to do that with all my containers, hand wash them, because you don't know what's going to happen. Like the berry containers, I hand wash those.
We're going to get to them. They're nice too.
Yeah,
they
are nice.
All right, next is mine. All right, guys. So this is the most recent one here. Something I always talk about getting 1% better with the show. Stupid little things. Every time I would listen back to my show, I would hear the mouse click when I would start the episode beforehand. I could hear click, 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 click in the keyboard. When you're, you can multitask. And if I'm talking to somebody or someone else I'm interviewing, the last thing I want them to hear is me typing out a comment to the audience, because that seems rude, right? So I was looking for both a cordless one. So I got a cordless keyboard and mouse from Logitech, $29.79, and it's as silent as can be. You don't get the click anymore, and you don't hear the clickety clack. Not that I'm that fast of a typer, but so if you're looking for an inexpensive silent keyboard, keyboard and mouse, $29.79, Logitech. The model number is MK Ultra. No, just kidding. MK295. And it is like, I can't hear the click.
I should get that, because every time you call me, you tell me to stop typing.
Oh, it drives me nuts. You won't listen to me.
Well, this way I could do it and you wouldn't even know.
Well, but you won't be like, honey, did you hear me? What? But yeah, anyway, dirt cheap, and I've been blown away by the quality of the keyboard and the mouse. I've been using them for maybe a month to 6 weeks. I got it soon after I inherited the new computer from our son, since it wasn't a good enough gaming computer for him. But what used to take me like an hour to process a video takes me like 30 seconds now. So
yeah, it's a pretty good computer.
It's an awesome computer. Absolutely. Yeah. And he said that, yeah, they are nice. B-Man J says they're nice wireless keyboards for the money. I mean, for $30, I like it. It's held up good so far. And you can, if you happen to be in a mood, you can get, is that white or is that 1993 gray? I'm not sure.
It kind of looks like an old Commodore color.
Off-white, yeah. Oh my God. Anyway, I guess some people somewhere. Oh.
Well, it depends what kind of mood you're in, I guess.
Yeah, that would get dirty pretty quick, wouldn't it?
Well, with you, yeah.
What are you saying? I'm a pig?
No, you're a ditch pig.
Well, that's true. You do say that a lot, don't you? All right. Next one for you, mother. This was a cool one. So what do you got here, baby?
So this comes.
Tell
with
the story.
This comes with a story.
Yep.
So we went. I bought some new couches for the living room, and this was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, something like that.
And when they showed up, they were a lot bigger than I thought they were.
Yeah.
And they're like 7 feet long. So I said to Tim, like the little coffee table we had, it looked like a doll table because it was so small.
It was
compared to the couches, and it looked ridiculous. So I told him, like, I'm going to find a new coffee table, and I found one at the Brick. And when it showed up, it's massive. And
so I'll put it into perspective. So between the two couches on both walls,
we had to push.
We had 52 inches. And this nice table that she bought was 51 3/4 inches. No, but it was narrow enough that I had to push it to the side in order to not walk sideways to get by.
Yeah, so you didn't like stub your toe or anything. But we have since got rid of one of the couches.
Yes.
So I got this table on a good sale from the Brick, which is
a furniture
store up here in Canada. And
the worst.
And
the dogs.
I was so happy with it, and then all of a sudden the dog started chewing it.
Why?
I don't know why. I think it's because it's like a softwood.
Yeah.
So
they don't chew anything else in the house other than their toys.
They don't chew anything else. So they started chewing it, and of course, and when you chew through it, then you don't get it's like a white wood color. So it was like brown with white chew marks everywhere. So I bought this, and for the price of it, it came with all the paints and the markers and the putty and everything so that you can like match the color up as best as you can. Mine still needs a little bit of work upstairs, but
you did a damn fine job on it,
like
baby.
You can't tell, like if you were to look at it, you wouldn't be able to tell, but I just thought for the price of it was a good deal. And because I was going to get rid of the table.
I mean, people know that these exist, but it's nice to hear because you bought another kit one time and it was kind of shitty, wasn't it?
It was. And the putty dried right out on me.
Right.
Because, well, long story short, I did the table up beautifully, and then the idiots went behind me and chewed every spot that I had fixed the putty on. So I went so I had to go back, and when I went to go use the putty again, it was hard as a rock and I couldn't use it again.
So this one comes with some nice putty, a little putty knife, and then a sanding block to sand it back down. But what's really nice is how many damn colors it comes with. Look, that is how many is that? Yeah, one.
Well, and
so you got pencils, markers, and then
paint,
colored wood filler or paint, right?
And it's in the table upstairs, a little bit of a pain in the ass because it's like browns and grays, and you kind of have to match it a little bit.
And it has the grain in it, right?
Yeah.
That's the other thing, and that's what this stuff here is for, right?
Yep.
And you did a good job. You can't tell. I would have to get right down on the ground, I'm sure, and look at it to know. But you don't have the big white spots or the big, chew marks anymore. So,
well, for now, until they realize that I fixed it and they go behind me and do it again.
Dogs. Sandy we have a question later on from Sandy about the dogs. So just in case anybody cares, because they're assholes. All right. I think it's every time we pick up a pop, our thing goes fuzzy.
No, I was doing it before.
Was it?
Or did you pick up a pop?
I don't know. Who knows? But all right. Next one.
I got you that's for Christmas.
Yeah, you did. We ended up getting 3 of these by mistake. Why are we going all fuzzy? There we go. All right, so this is my latest. You guys know I got I really like Anchor power bricks, anything that they make. I've never been disappointed yet with anything.
Well, we were disappointed with that. So
we were, but I think they fixed it. So
I'll believe it when I see it.
We have an Anchor power station coming that just never showed up. We ordered it 2 months ago. We realized, shit, it never came. And
we check and it said, oh, your parcel may be lost.
Yeah.
But not once did they ever reach out and say, hey, your parcel's lost. We're going to refund you. We actually had to chase down Anchor.
But it wasn't cheap. It was it's not a little one. It's like the full-size power bank. So you'll see a review on it if it shows up. And if it doesn't, you'll get
But it was pretty sad. We had to chase them down.
We did. Yeah. I was surprised.
Because it was a lot of money for us to have to, for them not to reach out and say, hey, guess what?
But I think they did message me the other day and say they were going to resend one. So fingers crossed, if it shows up, great. If it doesn't, you guys will hear about it. And all right, Anchor. So this guy here, so I used to have this it's a 40,000 milliamp hour pack. Remember that one? It's about the size. It was honestly,
brick?
it's almost the size of an orange brick. I loved
heavy
it.
too.
It is heavy. It fit just perfect in the front pouch of my grab and go bag. But I'd had it for a while, and it is heavy. It's big, and there's only one. So if you drop it in a pool or whatever, it's gone, right? So I ended up getting 3 of these by mistake. I ordered one, then you ordered one, and then you ordered another one.
Well,
which is fine.
No, what happened was I had ordered it. You had put it in the cart, and I did a big Christmas order.
Right.
And I didn't know that was in the cart until it showed up. And then I had Gracie order one so that it would go to her P.O. box because I was going to surprise you for Christmas with it.
Do you want to see if you can just pull that right off the wall? I think that's what it's okay. It just has Velcro on it. We'll see if that'll fix her. Well, if you can follow it down. Yeah. So this anchor one here, guys, what I love about it. Yeah, that should fix it there, baby doll. Okay. Everybody listening on the audio is like, what are they talking about?
No, it's still doing it.
I don't know.
Because there's 2 of us in the camera.
I don't know. Never had this problem before. We've done this a bunch, but that's okay. Let's turn this up a little more. See if that helps. I don't know. We'll see. Sorry about the light. So this anchor one has a feature that Anchor hasn't had in the past. And it's something that I've been talking about for the last 10 years that they need to. If you guys can see that right there, they finally put a digital display on it. So before they had these chintzy little, so you get this great big brick and it has 8 little tiny LED lights that only somebody with 20/20 vision could see. I mean, it was miserable. And they were
you can't with your old man eyes.
But they were even blue. They didn't even show up, right? So you'd push it and then you'd have to wait for it to, it was like a rotary dial phone. It'd go up and then back. You're like, how many of those are there? So the other thing was with 8, the closest you could get was like a 12.5% spread, right? So it could be 88%, could be 76%. You don't know. So with this, it gives you the exact percentage of what's in it. It charges and discharges at 140 watts. So you can charge the entire thing in 45 minutes, which I love.
Well, if you got 3 of them, maybe I'll take one from my bag.
You should. Yeah. And I have, so here's the other thing. These are 24,000 milliamps each. So 2 of them gives me 48,000. The other brick alone was 40 by itself. So now I have a little extra capacity, but I've split it into 2 devices so that shit goes sideways and I lose one, I still have one left, right? So that's what I like.
Because I did recommend sending the 2 of them back if you didn't need them. And you're like, oh no.
No, we'll use it. We already spent the money on them and I love them. I mean, they're great.
Yeah, so I want one then.
Yeah, so they've got 2 USB-C ports on the top, 1 USB-A, and then the power buttons on the side. You can cycle through and it gives you quite a bit of information, more than most people want, but any numbers geek that I would like, but perfect size. It's just small enough that you can take it on a plane. That was the other problem with the bigger brick. It was too big. There's too many watts in it in order to take it on a plane. So I believe it has to be 100 total watts. So
it's about the size of a TV remote, isn't it? Or is it a little bit
twice as thick? Yeah, okay. It's quite a bit smaller than the other one, and it feels lighter than half the weight, if that makes sense. But I love it. This is you guys will be seeing a review on this coming up soon. It's enough to charge my iPhone. What do I have? A 13 Pro Max. It'll charge it 2 times full. It's basically enough to run it for 3 full days. So I've had no problems with it. And so far, so good. Hey.
Yeah. Well, right. I haven't used it yet.
No, but you've seen me use it.
Yeah.
Didn't you use it when we were in the hotel? Did I let you use it?
No, I used the thin one that you threw in my.
Oh yeah. Threw it at you. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. All right. What do you got next, baby? Oh, this is a good one. I like this one.
So
again, there's a story behind it. So yeah.
No, I bought these because we don't have a ton of plugs in the living room.
Right.
But
it's an old house.
Don't buy them expecting some big fancy table because there's not much to them, and they're not like, they're very sturdy.
Mm-hmm.
The drawers are kind of crap on them, but I like it because it's got the plugs in the back, but it also has USB plugs. But all I have to do is just run one plug, and then I don't have to worry about any extras, and it's just sitting there. And if I'm working on my schoolwork, I can plug my laptop in without having to sift through an extension cord and worry about the dogs chewing the extension cord, because they do that.
So, and these are narrow.
They're very narrow.
We got them narrow on purpose because our living room is kind of janky in its design.
Well,
right?
And it's oblong, right?
Yeah.
But they work good, like especially this time of year, because I can plug the humidifier into it.
Yep.
And then on the other one, we have like the the router, and
it definitely cleans up your living room too.
It does.
It gets a lot of the plugs up and off the floor. Now you don't want to run a friggin' space heater through them.
No.
That's going to burn them out.
And they would work good in a bedroom too.
Yes.
Like for a lamp and phone charger and everything. Like, especially if your bedroom's a smaller size and you don't have a lot of room for a night table, it would work good for that.
One small complaint I have with it is there's no USB-C ports on it.
No, there isn't. So I never checked that.
No, but you wouldn't. It's not, you don't necessarily think about it, right? So, but it has a nice thick plug on it, so you know you're not going to overheat it very easily.
Mm-hmm.
I assembled them. They went together in about, I don't know, 25 or 30 minutes a piece. We got 3 of them, don't we? Or 2? 2. Okay.
No, 3.
3, yeah.
Yep, 3.
But they're nice. They're well built. You're not wrong about the drawers. The drawers they are what they are. But then again, you're not opening and closing drawers on an end table 75 times a day. You know, they're
$66. You're going to get your $66 worth. Like, don't, I said, like, don't expect to get it and be like, oh man, this is crap. Like it's nothing, like would I pay $100 for it? No.
But it was worth the price.
It was worth $66.
And if you buy 2, you get 8% off, which is cool. So you're not, I missed the joke. He said, I'm not. Did you catch what I said? I must have said something. No. That's all right. So yeah, 8% off and $66. I like them. They're made by Hoobro, Hoobro.
And I've been really happy with it. No,
dogs haven't chewed it either, so it's probably made it like Chinese melamine or something. So
no, but I just like the idea of not having to fish for and I know you love your power banks, but the last couple times.
Oh yeah, 75. Sorry to cut you off, baby, but yeah, I'm not opening them 75 times.
No,
a day. That's right.
If Tim was opening them 75 times a day, they'd be broken.
They wouldn't be Tim proof. So
no.
Yeah.
But the last couple times the power bricks haven't been charged, and this way I just bring my phone charger out and I just plug it in. And guess a choke.
Yep, he got his way. Our dog's in here now, so come on up and make an appearance there, Angus. Daddy's boy. Yep. So yeah. Anyway, I've been happy with them. I was surprised for the price.
But the drawers are crap.
Yeah.
But
you can get that hideous dorm room.
I got gray.
Yeah.
No, like a grayish brown color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one here reminds me of the beds in my freshman dorm.
Actually, college, it looks like hospital intake.
Yeah.
That's the
one you got there. Gray with black. And then we got brown with black. It's like a coffee color or something. So
yeah, but they are really convenient if you have like a small space.
Oh yeah.
And, yeah, like
all right. Slide into the next one. Thank you, Angus. These ones here, guys, are cool. So we've gotten to the point. If anybody out there has a lot of keys or too many keys, or you're like me, you label them and then the labels fall off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Never a good thing. So when we bought the next daycare, I said, I've got to do something about this because I am miserable. I'm so bad at organizing keys, right? And you're like, well, where's the key? I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, $14.
No. The famous word is they're on the ring.
Yeah.
What ring? Oh, the ring with the other 960.
The ring that weighs 12 pounds. That one, yes. And
with
not because it has a big keychain. Yeah, it has a lot of keys. So
yeah,
I bought this one here. So the first thing you look for is the right size. So I ordered 1/8" stamps, and these are metal die stamps or whatever. And you hit them with a hammer and hit it with a hammer, throw a coat over it, and hit it with a hammer. You remember Clark? So anyway, this one here, this is for putting permanent imprints into the keys. So what I've discovered is the key is to not hit it too hard. It's to tap it 5 or 6 times lightly. That way you don't bend the key when you're doing it. I know, right? I know. Last time Becky did it, she bent the key right in half. So I had to smarten her up. So.
No, how many keys have you bent?
Just one. I learned. I put a whole indent right through it. And I'm like, what the fuck is it? Yeah, I know. So anyway, so these are great. They're heavy. The organization is shit. They're really small, so it's kind of hard to make out the difference between an R and a B and that kind of stuff.
No, that's just your old man eyes.
But the worst, the only downside to this is the lid doesn't stay on them. There's no, like, you see that little clip there, it's supposed to. You don't buy this for the storage, so just don't knock it over, because I've knocked it over 3 or 4 times and they spill everywhere.
No,
it's like alphabet soup, So
you've knocked them over?
I once or two. Listen, Mrs. Cook, I'm kicking you out of here. Angus
kick this idiot out of here.
Yeah. So Sandy says Angus is so cute.
No, he's bad.
He is bad. He's a good boy though.
No, he's not.
Anyway, this one was good. And actually, since I bought mine, this one now has a slot for keeping it organized. This one, the one I have, doesn't. So if you're looking at it, look for one that has individual slots for each number, because oh my God, they're great though. Like the product's good. It's just the packaging wasn't good. All right. Ready for yours, baby?
Yeah.
What do we got next? Oh,
my mop.
this is the most expensive item on the list.
Yes.
Go ahead. Tell them what it is and why you bought it.
Oh, so this is the newer version of my Tinaco mop. Anyone who has animals or kids, you have to have one of these. I had the Tinaco 3 at S3, I think it was. That was the first one I bought.
Yep.
This one is the S6. I had to get it because
had to. Of course,
I had to.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It has a dirt sensor on it. So the ring across the top, when you're mopping, it stays blue. Now, when it comes across a dirty spot, it'll go red.
Like, for instance, if a dog, you might have peed somewhere, you missed it, and it dried, and you don't see it on a dark floor, right, Angus?
So it goes red, and you go over it a couple times, and as you're going over it, it'll start turning blue to let you know that the floor is clean.
And I'll be honest, when you told me that,
he thought it was a first.
I rolled my eyes, and I thought, there's no way this damn thing works. It seemed like an absolute, I haven't quite figured out how the tech works, but it does work.
It's a sensor.
So it's a sensor that must gauge the water coming back in, is it?
Either that and if there's any lift in the floor. Like, because if you have like like if there's something in the floor, it's like a detector.
Oh,
so
okay.
if you go over it 3 or 4 times, you can see the red turning blue to let you know the floor is clean.
And I want to tell you, you could use a regular old yacht mop. You could use a Swiffer. And when you're done, you think that floor is clean. And then you go over it with this Tinaco, and the water that comes off it is almost disgusting.
It is. And then after your floors are dry and clean, if you go over it with a Swiffer mop, those Swiffer pads will come out clean.
Yeah.
All that will be on it is just the Swiffer cleaner. And like this Tinaco mop gets your floors so clean, it's unbelievable. Like you could skate across them with white socks, and your socks would be white.
My skating days are over with. Just so you know.
But you know how they used to test that with your socks and stuff? Yeah, no, the socks would have nothing on them. And
then tell them about the coolest feature, the self-cleaning.
The self-cleaning. So you put it back on the charger, and it's like, and it's Bluetooth and everything too. So it's like a computer voice, and it says analyzing.
Sees how dirty it is. And then it starts self-cleaning. And then it lets you know, like, even if you're mopping and you're not paying attention, it'll say your dirty water chamber is full. You need to empty it. And it stays on top of it for you. It's pretty cool. It is.
Like
and it's shaped, the cleaner is shaped like a paint roller. It looks almost identical to a paint roller, and it does a damn good job. And the battery life, at least for now, is really impressive.
Well, I can go over our living room floor twice, and the hallway and the kitchen, and only get down. The lowest I've seen it is like 68%.
Yep.
So,
and the one day I did the floors while you were away, because I hadn't done them in a couple of days. Mm-hmm. And I probably went over the living room floors like 5 times, and I got it down to like 50%, and it was good. So it's expensive. It's not for everybody, but if you are an anal clean freak who likes to be able to eat off the floors, it really does a good job. I'm
very anal about the floors.
And that's fine. I've embraced that over the years. And you know what? I just bought a DeWalt frame and nailer, so I ain't gonna bitch about a Tinaco mop, right? So,
and I just
I should say you bought it for me.
Well, and I took my S3 to the daycare.
Yes,
and we use that one on those floors, and
so then it becomes a write-off.
Yeah, yep. But it works beautifully at the daycare.
I love it.
Gracie got the exact same one for her place too, and she has dogs that make messes more than ours do, she'll send me pictures every so often, and her floors are so clean.
I have to say, it says here 35-minute runtime. You get all of that and then some for sure.
Oh, it's definitely. Really, I get way more than 35 minutes.
Yeah. I wonder if I can find no, there's no picture, but yeah, right there. So that's the LED, the little circle, and it shows you. So if it's red, it's dirty, and as it goes back to blue, it gets clean, and it's quite nice. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. What do we got
but
next?
If you wanted to invest in a good mop,
and cordless wise, I've been really happy with it. And same with your vacuum there. The what's that?
The Dyson.
The Dyson, except that the battery life has gotten pretty shitty. So
I don't know. I think they go over time.
I think so too. You know what? I got them. There we go. All right. So This is my next one. I picked this up before Christmas. I've just started playing with it. I believe it was Hunter in the Telegram group, the workshop Telegram group, who recommended this model to me. But I'm looking at melting down silver and trying to make my own rounds. And I've had very, very limited success so far, but I'm learning. So this guy right here runs off propane. It's a propane melting furnace made out of stainless steel. And yeah, it's cool. The thing is loud. It melts. I melted silver, but I don't know what I did wrong. But it's got a $30 coupon, so it's $130. But it does exactly what it says. Any precious metals or copper or brass, that kind of stuff, it'll melt it down, and then you can dump it out into little molds or whatever. Like I've got some coin ones, and I think it came with a square one. I followed all the instructions, so when you're breaking in the crucible, it works. It works pretty good. So you know what Garden Girl just said, baby? I never thought of this. Depending on your Dyson age, it may still be under warranty for battery.
I don't think
it's less than 2 years old.
I was going to say it's not very old.
Yeah.
No. Even the other one's not very old from the daycare.
I thought I was going to be smart, and I ordered that adapter to run DeWalt batteries, but we've got the newer model, and it takes a different time. I can't get it to work.
No, so. I bet you I think the warranty on the Dyson's pretty good. So.
Thank you, Garden Girl. We should look into that because they do have pretty good warranties, don't they?
Yeah. It'd be nice to get a new battery because it's brutal.
So if anybody's looking at getting into not forging so much, but just melting metals and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So B-Man J says, well ventilated area, I hope you're using. Yep. Right at the end of the garage with the door wide open. So yeah, I wouldn't, man, that would be bad. But it's been fun so far. And Garden Girl says, call the number on the bottom. My hubby works for him. We'll give him a call and see.
Okay,
It can't hurt, because I love it. But man, I bet you the battery life has gone in half.
Does it matter where you bought it from though? Like it shouldn't matter where you bought it.
They can probably look it up based on the serial number.
But see, I bought it from Bath and Body Works. Bed Bath Beyond, and they went bankrupt.
Right.
So I don't think that would matter though, right?
Well, I probably go by this. Yeah. Doesn't. There you go. All right. Well, we'll give it a shot. Thank you, Garden Girl. I never thought about it. We've been so happy with it that we didn't want to complain.
Yeah, I love my Dyson vacuum.
Because it's actually something I use as much as you. So over at the 12 unit, the apartment building that I look after, they have Central Vac, which you'd think would be convenient, but it's a pain in the ass. It's so heavy and it doesn't work great. So I started taking your Dyson after pleading and asking nicely and saying, honey, I won't break it. And
you put a nice big dent in the shaft.
I don't know how that happened.
Yes, you do.
I really don't. I think it was Angus. Was it Angus? Yeah.
It was you.
All right. Let's move on to your next one here, baby. What do we got for you? Oh, this is, yep. So you've been on a air purification / humidifier
Well,
kit,
this
right?
is a humidifier.
Yep. Go ahead and tell them.
Well, no, it's because up here in the winters, the air's so dry.
Yeah, like zero humidity.
And everyone's been getting nosebleeds.
Yes.
So I bought this, and we bought one for the daycare. And then I found this one, and I only have to fill it once every 4 or 5 days. And it has a little sponge on the back that you can put thieves or essential oils or anything into it. But it's just to put some moisture back in. But I don't know, it hasn't been working as good as I want it to, but that could be because it's just fighting against. It
is such a fight here. It's nice when it's on, but as soon as it's off, it's like it goes back to dry again.
Yeah, and
it holds
the
2 gallons.
Girls each got small ones for their rooms because Allie and Charlie have both been getting bad nosebleeds this year.
The biggest thing is just the fact that to remember, even though you can go 3 or 4 days, is to remember to fill it.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice
I don't have a problem remembering. It's when I'm not home.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Oh, Dyson has a great humidifier too.
I have an air purifier from Dyson.
No, humidifier though. You have.
I have a purifier from Dyson that I bought, and
I still don't know what it does, but
it makes the air.
It's a noisemaker.
I think it's more for air clean when you have your AC running and stuff. So it'll come out in the summer, but I haven't seen the humidifier yet.
Well, you have to look for it.
Yeah, it's so dry up here.
But this one's pretty. It does a good job. This is the same one we have at the daycare, right?
A little bit different. The one at the daycare is a clear bottom.
Okay.
And I don't think it's as big.
But when you go into the daycare, if the sun's shining the right way, you can see the humidity in or the it's not I guess it is humidity, but you can see the fine droplets. Yeah.
It does. Well, and we did that because we had a lot of kids at the daycare getting bloody noses.
Oh yeah. It's such. it's an absolute fight here.
Mhm.
But anything you can do, and the smaller one we had in the bedroom was helping too. But again, you know, when you sleep with the window, or I sleep with the window open.
And it's hard though too, because our water here just kills things because the calcium.
So hard, I know. But you don't want to get a you know, what are the osmosis or the softener, because that makes it worse, you know. But it's not a bad one. I like it. All right, next. This is a small one, probably the cheapest item on the list. And this is a spork, a titanium spork. I was actually quite impressed with this. $7.99. So if you guys have seen the videos that Alice and I have been doing, the wheel of MREs, so we got looks like a Wheel of Fortune wheel. We've had a lot of fun doing them. Alice loves them too. So we cook them on my little jet boil stoves if need be. And they come with one of them chintzy little sporks, you know, the plastic ones, baby. So we wanted a nicer one because I wanted one for my get home bag. Oh. So we've been testing it out. What is it?
I put it in your stocking.
Yeah. So it's fine. This is the beauty of being married, right?
I didn't know if I ordered it.
Yeah, I ordered it to have, and I never showed up. I'm like, well, this is good. And I opened up my stocking Christmas morning, and there's my spork. I'm like, hey, cool.
Well, I thought for sure I ordered it, but I was just like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, and I think I had Charlotte with me. She was helping me put your gifts away. And I said, Charlotte, what is this? And she goes, I don't know. And I said, she goes, it looks like something Dad would use. And I'm like, probably. So it's like, here, just put it in your father's stocking. I don't know what the hell it is. So.
But you know, it's strong. It's light as a feather. I would have to really come on to it to bend it. But what I like about it the most is a lot of sporks are really not that good of a spoon or a fork. Mm-hmm. But this one really has a big area for a spoon. Aren't. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't even get me started on the wood ones. So this is good if you're looking for a cheap but well-built spork that isn't a brand name, I guess. And for some stupid reason, you can get them in different colors.
Wow.
I mean, okay. No, I still think.
No, I think it would be good if you were traveling with people, then everyone has their own color.
All right, leave it to you to be practical.
No,
that's
it's
fair.
true.
No, you're right.
Because well, like when you're traveling with kids like Alice who don't like anybody else touching their things, you can be like, "Hey, Allie, yours is the blue one."
That's a good point.
And if she sees somebody eating with the blue one, she'll lose her mind, and then she'll know that it's hers, right? So,
but we use the same spork when we're doing the video.
I'm surprised.
I know. I'm quite impressed. And
because the child don't share nothing.
If you want a little baggie to keep it clean, whatever, it comes with that too. But I don't tend to save that kind of stuff.
No, but I think that it would be good to have, like, if we were to pack them up, like get one for each girl and one for us. That way, you know that you're responsible for yours.
That's true. And so here's the other thing, guys. These are going to go in our grab and go bags as well. So I got one that I'm putting together, a get home bag I've been working on. But one thing that we notice is when we go out and we stay at hotels now.
You haven't ordered anymore, have you?
Not yet, but I will. Yeah. Whenever we order takeout food, since we live in the People's Republic of Canada, we're lucky enough. Most places won't even send you cutlery. And if they do, it's either a combination of wood or cardboard. I've actually eaten off of cardboard spoons recently.
Oh, they're disgusting. Oh. They changed the flavor of the food. Like we had them at Subway yesterday when we were at Subway. And I had the chicken noodle soup, and you use the wood spoon, and it actually changes the taste
takes
of
the flavor out of it. Oh man, it's bad. So we're gonna get one of each of these to put them in a grab and go bag, and then we can sit down in the evening and it's nice too. Yeah. You know, So yeah, whatever. What are you gonna do? I want to say what I really think, but I'm not gonna. So there you go.
Well, no, you'll get canceled.
It's very true. So yeah, it says so true. It's same here in Oz. So. Oh, and it doesn't do any good. You know, just think about what it takes to make those wooden spoons and to ship the wooden spoons.
Just think how many trees they got to cut down.
Oh, anyway. All right, baby, your turn before I kill somebody over a spork. There you go, baby. What?
Some more of my organizers.
So what do you got? What's the price? What is it?
Well, there's a 5% off coupon there, so they're $20, and I was a little disappointed with these ones.
Okay.
But the little plastic dividers they're not very sturdy. So like, you want to go see Dad?
Come here, Angus.
They're not very sturdy. So like when you put them in, they kind of like just one little thing, too much pressure and they pop.
They don't sit in the dividers very well, do they?
No, but I put these in the middle cupboard in the hallway for the girl. Like I have fruity snacks and apple sauces and granola bars. and everything and that. But I don't know. They worked good for what I wanted them to.
They did. And like instant oatmeal, things like that, all go in them. Did they come with lids?
No, these ones didn't.
I wasn't
have
sure.
lids.
Okay, so they're just so what they are for anybody who's wanted. They're dividers that you put. Well, I think they're also designed for in the fridge, but
this part here, like how it's divided. See, like you can stand up the granola bars, so they stand up, and you can put rows of them, and I don't know. It held a lot more than I thought it was going to.
It did, yeah. I like them, and they fit again. They fit well in those narrow cupboards that we have, and they're good. They're probably my least favorite of all of the things you bought. Yeah,
well, it's just mainly for the girls stuff.
Yeah,
but they like I don't know. I think probably should get more than 4 for $20. Like the way, but they are really thick plastic.
Yeah,
but
they'll last a long time. So
they will.
It's it's a recommendation, but with a caveat that if you could find them a little cheaper, if you can get them on sale, buy them on sale, because the biggest thing is them damn dividers. They don't stay in the way they should, right?
Well, they would if you had the ones that I put the fruity snacks in and everything, those stayed really good.
I just want to shout out Jules. It's good to see Jules in here tonight. Said stopping by to do my duty. Internet doesn't like me watching live, but I want to let you know that I just found a message from you from early January in my private messages on MeWe, and I responded to it. So I didn't ignore you. It just never gives me a notification. So anyway, I always try to get back to people, but so 5% off coupon, $20 for 4. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you can get them on sale, buy them on sale, because that's when you would want to do it. All right. What do we got next? Let's see. Big surprise. Dude wipes.
Oh boy.
So these are actually kind of cool. So I was using the Cottonelle ones this summer when I was camping, or this fall. And because when you're dry camping and there's no shower facilities, you got to have something to spruce yourself up with. So they actually worked really well. I mean, it doesn't beat a shower, but it beats the alternative of no shower. And so here's my other big problem. So take my oxy pads, for instance. So I use oxy pads for my face because tend to be kind of greasy, right? I know, right? And the problem is them damn containers, they dry out so quick, don't they, hon?
Yeah.
So what I've been looking for is individually packaged stuff. So again, this is for my get home bag, and this will also be for my grab and go bag. And these are individually packaged ones so that they're not going to dry out in a package. Each one is
like a tear strip.
Yeah, a tear strip. So it costs a little more, but in the long run, if they don't wear out and they can stay in there infinitely, then I've actually made money or saved money off them, right? So anyway, these are good. They're good size. They say flushable. Please
don't flush them.
Don't flush them. They're not flushable.
No.
That's it's about the equivalent of, do you remember a few years ago when the mouthwash companies tried to claim that rinsing with mouthwash was as good as brushing your teeth?
Oh, gross.
It's not true. And it's every bit that's as true as flushable wipes. They're not.
You could throw these in like an
a porta john,
or a porta john. Yeah,
absolutely.
But don't throw them in the toilet.
Yeah, but they're great. So I'm kind of set on them. Prepper Camp has showers, so that's nice. But some of the other places I go to don't. So you need to make sure you can, wash yourself up in the morning, and these do a good job.
So you don't smell like an ass.
Well, even after I shower, I smell like an ass, but that's just me. So, but I like them. Yeah, individually wiped. If I could find some individually packaged face wipes, like alcohol based, like Oxy type ones, I've been looking, but I can't find any in the
I bet you just those medical ones, they're alcohol wipes.
Maybe. Yeah,
they would probably
they
might dry your skin out really bad,
I'd rather them dry them
but
out than
the ones they use for like when they do injections and stuff, those are alcohol pads.
Yeah,
those would probably work.
Yeah, because I need something, because those Oxy pads dry out in my grab and go bag, something wicked. And the other thing is them damn the bottle is such a weird shape, it takes up so much space. So Lone Canadian says, have you tried towel tablets? A couple of drops of water and you got a towel. They also have TP tablets.
I've seen those, but I don't think you've tried them.
Alice and I have been we've been using the ones that come with the MREs, just for our face and stuff. They're pretty good. I don't know if if I could have a horse bath with them or not, you know what I mean? So but the dude wipes definitely wipe the dude. All right, what do we got for you there, Mrs. Cook? Yours is coming up next. We got 3 items left. These are good ones right here. You ready for this? Boom. Curtains. How friggin' boring. No, I'm just kidding.
No, so I had I don't know, anybody who has animals will probably know the pain. So I went out and I bought gray and white curtains
for a big picture window.
For a big picture window. Yeah. And I noticed the other day that our idiots get on the back of the couch and they get into the window. So they've been going in between the curtains when they've come in from outside and they're dirty and they're muddy. So my white curtains were all muddy.
A little bit brown.
Yeah, they were pretty nasty. So I just wanted to change it up. And so I got these ones, and for the price of them, you get 2 panels, and they're the grommet.
Yeah, which we like. They're so much easier to hang.
But they're really heavy duty.
Dude, they are so you go in our living room in the middle of the day, if they're shut tight, it feels like it's almost night out. These are the best room darkening curtains you've ever had.
And they block the draft.
Yeah.
Really nicely.
They're insulated and light dim,
and they're a beautiful color too.
Yeah,
like I got green
and heavy because she made me lift them to put them up.
Yeah.
No, but they're really I like them. You got green and gray, didn't you?
Green and blue.
Green and blue. Okay.
Yeah. So we put the green ones up, but they're a really nice color, and this time of year too. Like when I sit with my back to the window, I'm always getting a draft.
Yep.
And these are just they block the draft really well.
I've been really impressed with them. And the price. You couldn't $40 for 2 panels. You can't. I don't think you could go to Fabricland and buy the fabric for that price.
No, and not like you can get curtains at Walmart. I think they're like $11 or $12 a panel, but they're not like this. They're not heavy duty.
Okay, am I crazy? But when I was a kid, I don't remember grommet curtains being a thing.
No, those are new. Like they're not new, but no, because they were always the metal hooks.
The metal hooks that had the pin, and you had to push them down. Oh my God!
No, these grommet curtains. If you ever want to get curtains, the grommet ones are the best.
Oh yeah, they're great.
And they come like you can take them down easy, put them up easy. So like it's nothing to say, hey, I want to wash the curtains today, and you just slide them right off, and then you don't have to worry about pulling out all those stabby metal things that'll go through your finger. And
they do a good job.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next? We got 2 left. I like this one. This is my final one for today. This is a moisture meter. And, years ago, I thought it'd be nice to have it for wood, but I don't need it for wood now. This is an accessory for my freeze dryer. So it's cheap. It's, $18.98 for the moisture meter. And if you're wondering how you tell if something's completely dry in the freeze dryer, there's no hard and fast method. So the first thing you can do is put your hand on top of it. So if you put your hand all across the load, and if you don't feel any cold spots, that's the first sign. You're like, okay, so if everything feels warm, then it's probably dry. The next thing you can do is break it and see, does it snap when you open it? And if it does, it's probably dry. Then you can stick your finger down the middle of it. None of those are foolproof, and yes, it is good for wood too. One step closer asked. This one here has 2 pins on it. And you just drive it down in the load right in the thickest spot, or if there's like something that maybe looks a little dark and you're not sure, it feels warm, but you want to know for sure, this will make an electric conduction.
It says softwood, hardwood too.
Yeah, so you can do soft or hardwood. It works great, but it would have saved me from ruining that whole batch of chili that I did, So I bought it, cheap insurance if I'm not sure. Now, the downside is if you're doing individual stuff like pieces of ground beef, it isn't going to work for that because it needs to be wide enough to make a conduction, right? So it's great for liquids. So if you're freeze drying milk or cream or that kind of stuff, it'll definitely tell you. But it saved my bacon a couple of times. I thought I was good and I stuck it in and it still said 10%. I'm like, okay, well, let's do it. So yeah, for $18, this was a recommendation on, I think it's Retired at 40 is his name, the YouTube channel. And he said, get one of these. And yeah, it hasn't let me down yet. So all right, baby. What's your last one? There we are. Oh, these were good ones.
Yes, my travel bags.
Yeah.
So these are for our grab and go bags. Because you had ordered me a really nice one.
It was like a paramedic's bag.
A paramedic's bag.
Yep.
But what happened was it has 2 plastic clips, and if you don't click those, then you lift from the top and all the fabric let go.
Yeah,
because it was too heavy.
We thought it was, yeah. I mean, we had it full.
Yeah, but if we had just did that every time, right? But so now the fabric started letting go. So I bought it actually took me a while to figure out which ones I wanted, but I ordered 3 of these, one for me and both girls.
That was the other idea, was tell what you decided
so they can get their own. Yeah, so because they don't travel lightly, those two. And I find anytime they were traveling with us, they would put things. Well, it just happened at Charlotte's volleyball tournament. She didn't have the bag yet, but she used, if anybody out there ever shops at Sephora, she uses this Glossier serum, which is $64 a bottle, and it snapped and the glass snapped on it, and you can't fix that, right? Because she puts everything in a Ziploc bag.
Right.
So basically the whole thing's garbage, because what do you do with it? And so like this way it allows her to have like her makeup cases and everything so that she can keep things safe, so things like that aren't breaking.
But also things like tweezers and nail clippers were going missing out of your bag.
Exactly.
And the girls at least once a year travel without us.
Yep.
They go to Nova Scotia for a week or 2.
And it's waterproof too.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
And it's got like this little zipper right here on the bottom.
Yep.
Right in this area. And we open that up and you could put all your like shampoos and soaps and everything in there, because it's all waterproof. So if they all leak, it won't absorb up into the bag.
The other stuff.
Yeah.
So we figured it was time that the girls got their own grab and go bags. So now we have 4 for the family. We each have our own, because it's good and bad, but we all seem to travel separately sometimes. And what we found too, even baby, remember for a while we would have the shared one that you and I would share. And then I also had my own for when I traveled. Yeah. And what would happen is we'd be like, oh, are you taking yours? You taking mine? Which one we taking? Do we have everything we need?
Yeah.
So now each person is responsible for their own bag. When we get home, we charge up our power banks. We take out all the freebie hotel stuff and put that aside, because we've got a Rubbermaid full of that now. But it helps us stay on top of it. Everybody has their own accountability. And
it's true though, because and they're big enough that you can put an outfit in there.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And like I said, the girls are not like travelers anymore, right? So it just allows them to have spot for their own crap, and they're not
teenage girls.
They're not overflowing my bag with it.
And it was a great, I think it was a great move.
It was. Yeah. And they're nice too. They're pretty colors. Like I got pink, and Charlotte got white, and Alice got the dark blue one, I think.
Dark blue. Yeah, I know they're in there somewhere or something. Yeah, and then white. Yep, that was Charlotte's. Not the pleated though, or was it? Maybe
it was pleated. Yeah.
So that was and I'm kind of excited. So this is actually a segue that I didn't plan, but we are putting together new emergency bags for our vehicles.
Yes,
and there's a reason for that. And so Becky said she'd shoot me if I didn't share her latest purchase tonight, because so there's a backstory. A while back, a few weeks ago, I had you blocked in. You're like, well, I'll just take your truck. And it was a little snowy out.
It's not the reason why.
So when she came home,
not the reason.
She looks at me. She says, I'm getting a truck. Just tell me. Come on now.
That's not the reason.
Well,
the reason why is because when I drive up to Lloyd, I was driving a Ford Escape, and it was all-wheel drive. But whenever people pass me on the highway, the car was small enough, it was blowing my vehicle, and I didn't have the traction and the stability of it. And it was, and if I'm driving back and forth like that, it was, and same with the weather.
But I'm just going to say it was a pure coincidence that she came home after driving my beast of a truck and said, honey, I'm getting a new truck. So she decided to get a truck. So if anybody wants to see a picture, there it is. So we nicknamed it Bubblegum. And it is a hot pink bubblegum Dodge
It's not
Ram.
hot pink. It's bubblegum pink.
It's beautiful. And it looks, I'm not even going to brag. I mean, it looks nicer up close even than it does in the picture.
Mackenzie calls it a Barbie truck.
Yeah, but I call it bubblegum. And so I'm kind of excited because it means I finally get to put together a substantial kind of get home emergency kit for your truck.
Yep.
Because I just kind of poked things in wherever I could on your SUV because that thing was jam packed.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then Gracie got a new one, which
Gracie
is
got a new truck.
purple, and I guess I'm going to get one too. Hey,
Yes.
yeah, and we'll save the color reveal for when it shows up. But I'm pretty excited about it. But so that's what we've been working. That was the big surprise in the background that she's been working on.
Yeah.
I love the pink. I think it looks good, but I'm excited to put together.
Well,
an
and
emergency
of
bag
course,
for
like on the truck, like I'm going to be putting
you. One step closer wants to know if I'm not driving this one down to SRF, but the new color that I'm getting will.
His new one, yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Yeah, so like I'm going to be putting Busy Bees daycare on there, and then there's going to be logos and stuff. So
That'll look nice.
It'll look nice, yeah.
Yeah, but boy, people would see me coming in the pink truck, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah. No, the one you're getting is called a Warlock.
It's the Warlock edition.
Yeah.
Yes, there. Sandy says she loves it. Yeah, mine's the Ram, but it's a Warlock edition, which is a bit of an upgrade. So I can't wait. Anyway, whatever. But I'm excited. I'll show you guys when it shows up.
Yeah, and Gracie got the exact same one, and hers is going to be purple.
Yes. So we'll do a whole episode on the stuff that we put into the emergency bag for the truck, because
I should drive this one down.
Yeah, well, you could if you want to. It's only a 3-day drive.
Oh,
so
Jesus!
I know
not with both kids.
I know.
I'll lose my mind.
So we had a question. I reached out earlier in the chat and seen if anybody had any questions for us. And yeah, Lone Canadian says you're secure enough to drive a pink truck.
Absolutely.
Friggin' right I am. I don't. Yeah.
Hey, guys wear pink too.
Yeah, well, you know how it is. Whatever. I don't mind. But yeah, I friggin' right I'd drive it. If she's got me blocked in, I'm driving the pink one and she can drive mine. So there you go. So Sandy said she had 2 questions for us over in the Telegram group. If anybody's got, we're still good for a little while yet anyway.
I got nowhere to be.
If anybody's got any questions or topics you want us to chat about, but Sandy sent us 2. So the first one, she said, I know you've tried out your freeze-dried food, but I'd be interested in hearing more about how you feel it compares to the original. How much you guys going to preserve, and we cycle through the stores? I know it lasts a super long time, so maybe not as necessary. So first off, I've reconstituted a bunch of things. I
haven't tried any of
No, you're just not interested, and that's fine. No big deal.
I'll eat it if I have to.
Yep.
But
so things like a full pork chop took a while to reconstitute. Just be patient. Add hot water and let it sit. When it was done, if you let it reconstitute long enough, I couldn't tell the difference between that and a leftover pork chop from the fridge that I heated up in the microwave. Tastes just the same to me. Strip beef, like stir fry beef, same thing, and that cooked up that reconstituted really quick, didn't it? Now,
sorry,
no, it's okay. I've been doing some testing of different things, and I took a bunch of 1 liter jugs of chocolate milk, spilled some in the freezer, and then freeze dried everything. Now the powder turned out really good, but I could not get it to reconstitute. Now, the first thing you don't want to do is use warm water because it could curdle. So I used cold water. I let it sit, and I stirred and stirred and stirred, and I couldn't get the consistency right. So if anybody has any tricks for that, I'd love to hear it. So as far as meat goes, I've had no problem. What else did we?
Can you just eat it like candy though?
Oh, you can, but it's going to pull all the moisture out of your mouth, right? You want the mouthfeel. I mean, you could, but we did meatballs too. Remember me and the girls? So we did 7 or 8 meatballs. I just left them in the Mylar bag, added hot water, and I had them. Alice had them. My daughter Olivia and her husband Curtis, and they didn't even know the difference. Remember, I think the meatballs were my favorite yet. So as far as reconstituting, be patient. So be patient, take your time, and just keep checking it because some stuff will reconstitute super quick, and then other ones take a while. And I think it has to do with how dense it is, right?
Probably, and and what
thick.
Type of meat, and everything, right?
The pork chops definitely took the longest, and you can tell because you can push on top and you'll feel it goes from crunchy to kind of soft, right? So all right, so there was that. How much are you going to preserve?
He doesn't have an amount. He'll just keep going until he gets bored of it.
It's a good question. That is the true answer because Mama Bear has been married to me long enough to know. But so what we do is we go up once a week. I'll be up in the city with Becky at the daycare. And if I spend the night, I'll get up early in the morning and I'll go to Superstore and Walmart and I'll hit up all their clearance meat. So we'll find the things that we mainly hamburger, pork chops, stewing beef, anything that will store good, that we'll eat.
And the dogs can eat.
The dogs can eat as well. And something we could add to a stir fry. Just picture anything you're going to make from a freeze-dried meal, right? So all of this stuff, the idea behind this is complementing this 1 year of dry goods we have.
Mhm.
So it's going to extend it longer. It's going to give us protein. It's going to give us more calories. And we're not going to suffer from flavor fatigue. You like that big word? I just learned that the other day.
Lord.
Yeah, no, anyway. So that's the idea. I'm going to keep going. I really need to sit down and make a plan for like numbers wise, like we did with the barrels, like the 5-gallon drums of dry food, so that I have an idea of where we're heading with this, because I could end up with a lot. But I would really like probably 8 tough totes full, maybe. I've got 3 so far, and we're going to test other things. And Sandy says, that's interesting. I can be a bit fussy, so I was wondering if I would like it.
I am a very, very picky eater. That's why I haven't tried it yet.
So, you know what?
So-
Will you do a video with me where we sit down and eat some for a meal and just try it?
Probably not the meat. I
Well,
don't know. We'll
you'll
see.
try it. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to eat it eventually if the
No,
shit hits the fan. So,
I'll eat beans and
Yeah.
rice.
but it,
No, Sandy, I'm really a picky eater, and
but she hasn't tried it.
No, but I think a lot of it is a texture thing for me. So,
To be fair, when you look at it, because that's all you've done is look at it, it looks identical, doesn't
it
it?
does, but it's just kind of like when you're looking at it reconstituting, it's kind of like I don't.
But once it's
Yeah, like-
reconstituted, if I put it on a plate in front of you and didn't tell you one was reconstituted or the other, you wouldn't be able to tell the
I'd
difference.
be mad though.
I know you would, and I wouldn't do that to you, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If as long as you give it a long enough time to warm up, then it really works good. And so for me, I would say the thinner slice stuff stores better, or it's just all of it. So I like doing the pork chops. We did kind of chunks of pork chops, but I think I'm going to stick to smaller pieces like ground beef and stripped meat. And, that
And
kind of
we're
stuff.
not big pork eaters anyway.
No,
so like,
that's why we buy the beef. And
yeah, like we're more like beef eaters. Than
honestly,
pork, so.
if we had to choose, it would just be hamburger. I'm sure would be the best one.
Well,
for us,
and
but
steak.
yeah, steak.
Yeah,
Oh
right.
yeah,
But,
and the dogs love it. Anything. Oh man, that's their favorite treat. So.
well, in all fairness, dogs eat shit if you gave it to them.
But I've been freeze drying veggies as well. So I take those mixed veggies from the freezer section, and they're almost sweet when you eat them. They're right dry, but you can reconstitute them almost instantly. So you've got rice, say some pork chops or some stripped beef, freeze dried veggies. I got some freeze dried onions as well, a little bit of spice, and that would be a nice meal, wouldn't it?
you just add some mushroom soup to it.
Yeah, mushroom soup, whatever, and
Mhm.
so it's been good. I'm
You should try freeze dried and canned soup
Oh, we sure could. Yeah, we absolutely could. That would be cool. I mean,
because it probably lasts longer than it would be in a can.
would it be
because-
any better though than just buying powdered soup mix?
Well, yeah, but powdered soup mix doesn't taste the same,
No, it's true.
right? And like like when you buy a can of Campbell's soup, and I know like expiration dates are only
That one.
shelf sit, but
Yeah.
but you have to admit, like when you get past that expiration date, it does taste off. Like it
Yeah.
tastes metallic. And I bet you if you freeze dried it, you would obviously you wouldn't get the metallic taste because it's not in the can.
Well,
So
we'll buy a bunch. We'll do a test, guys. Because mushroom soup's our go-to, right?
mushroom and
we-
tomato.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So you know what we'll do? We'll buy enough to do a whole freeze dryer of mushroom.
Yeah, and don't don't add anything to it.
No,
Just the
because-
can stuff. Yeah.
because if you add water to it, all you're doing is
Yeah.
prolonging the time.
but
So,
but it would probably prevent it getting that gross.
yes. And Sandy, if you want, I will send you a package in the mail of a few different types of freeze dried stuff, and then you could test it. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Haven't
because
done candy yet. I
No, we haven't. I just
Olivia's been
haven't-
waiting for you to do
I know.
Skittles.
I just have no interest. I mean, I will do it, but I just,
Yeah.
for me, we bought the machine to,
Mhm.
So this week, I think the video I'm doing is going to be a deep dive into freeze drying ground beef, and namely the math behind it, what it costs, because we've looked at it and we're like, okay, well, how much is this going to cost in the can, right? Or how much is it? Because
Yeah.
so the one that we're talking about was potatoes, right?
Yes.
So we're looking at putting up a 5-gallon bucket of instant potatoes. We did the math to freeze dry them ourselves would be about half the cost. But the problem is the time that would be involved would be massive.
And I'm not standing there peeling
No.
100 pounds of potatoes. I'm sorry. I can't.
So we
do it.
decided to buy a
Yeah.
22-pound bag of freeze dry or
Yeah.
of pre-dried potatoes. So that's
I don't
one where
think
we
we've ordered
decided.
that yet.
No, but it's in the
Yeah.
cart in Amazon. So But yes, I don't do we have Sandy's mailing address? If not, send it to me on Telegram, Sandy, and I'll send you out a pack so you can try some
Don't they
stuff.
get patches from you?
I'm not sure. Maybe I don't. But
I don't know.
if I don't, I probably do, Sandy, and I apologize.
Just
if I
send
don't.
it again because
Yeah,
you'll never.
so I don't forget. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what was the okay? I know it lasts a super long time. Maybe not necessary, but are you going to cycle through it? No. Simple. So here's. We tend to get busy sometimes, and so we like to keep a stock in our regular pantry, the canned stuff that we eat, right? And we just cycle through that because we eat it, right?
Yeah, we actually have to go through our pantry because there's some stuff in there that could probably have to go.
And then we also keep, I would say, about a year's worth of meat in the freezer as well, wouldn't you? That'd be fair.
Give or take.
Yeah. So those two things are our regular cycle, our canned goods and our meat. And we eat it, we run it down to almost nothing. And
well, we try.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't look like we're going to eat it, then we start giving it to the kids.
Yes.
Because the last thing I hate doing is throwing meat out.
Right.
Because it's expensive. So if it looks like we're not going to eat it in the next month or two, we give it to the kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know what they say? They say store what you eat and eat what you store. So we already know what we eat. So the first thing we looked at when we put together our long-term food storage program was, okay, what is it we're going to eat, right? That's the big thing first. And when we had that for a list, we knew exactly what that would be. And that was fine. So we made a list and we worked our way through it and then we stored it. Now, the idea behind all of this for us is I want it to be set it and forget it, right?
Yep.
So we want to be able to put, now that doesn't mean I'm not going to inspect the buckets every so often, but the idea is basically seal it up. So it's in a 5-gallon bucket in a sealed Mylar bag with an O2 absorber and then a gamma seal lid on top of it. They're labeled on the outside. And in theory, they should be good for 2 to 3 decades. So set it and forget it. Same with the freeze-dried stuff. Now, we are going to open some periodically. We're going to eat them. I'll do some follow-up videos on some of it. But for the most part, once we have the system down, it's going to be set it and forget it as well. Yeah. It's the shit's gone really sideways. The excrement has hit the fan and it's going to be there. That's what it's there for. It's like insurance. It's the same as buying silver and gold. We don't plan on ever selling any of the precious metals we buy, but we have it if we need it. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Simple as that. So yeah. But I really enjoy it. I know I haven't really got you involved into the whole lot yet, but I should.
Well, I clean up your mess.
Yeah, I should show you how to help a little bit. So,
I get a free 5 minutes.
Comment in the audience here. Ellen Kerr said, "Is the Canadian government implementing a tax car manufacturers for emissions? The Australian government has. The Toyota Hilux will be $20,000 more due to tax."
No, but they're trying to get us all to electric vehicles, which
that's been the big push for us.
But I think that's going to be put to the wayside, though. Like a couple of weeks ago when we had that really bad temperature and all the electric cars were dying.
Yes, it was tough. Absolutely. And Lone Canadian smart there. I'll bring your comment up in a minute, but so I haven't heard about this one yet, but there's been a lot lately. I mean, the big one has been the damn carbon tax for us. We've been fighting against it.
It's supposed to go up again in April.
Yeah, but they're I don't know if anybody caught it, but they are renaming it the family carbon rebate or something.
No, they're doing. No. See, that's Trudeau's way of, because the carbon tax is supposed to go up again in April.
Right.
So now they're doing the rebate because they're going to give anybody under a certain income another payment to shut them up. So they'll stop complaining because like people think because they get a $300 payment every 3 months, it's going to make everything better that they're raising the carbon tax on everything.
The old meme that they show every year that daylight savings time comes out and they said, only a stupid man would cut a foot off a blanket on the top, put it on the bottom and call it longer. Well,
that's what Trudeau does.
But it's even worse. So they cut a foot off the blanket, they sew an inch back on and they say, I hope you're happy.
Well, and it's awful though, too, because what they're doing is the carbon tax, like it affects everybody.
Yes.
And it hurts everybody, but
big time.
But, like you can say that it does hurt and affect people of the lower income more.
Right.
Because they can't, they're already struggling to make ends meet. why do they need an extra $200 or $300 put onto their power bill and their gas bill? They can't afford that.
But baby, they give it back to you on the other end.
But that's what I'm saying though, like, because they're the ones that are complaining about it. So Trudeau's like, oh, here, take this money. I'll give you this rebate, but it's only 4 payments a year. And he acts like that's supposed to make everything better. And it doesn't. And like, what's the difference? An extra $300 every month on top of your bills. And then they're giving you $300 4 times a year. Like, how is that gonna?
But here's the big problem, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, but the biggest problem is that you're laundering money through the government. So the government's taking $1,000. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing: it costs money to run the government, right? So you've got all those beautifully inflated union wages that they just love to up every single year,
and their vacations and their private planes.
So they take $1,000 from us for whatever this carbon bullshit is that they talk about, and then they give it back to us. Minus, of course, even if they give it all back, it wouldn't all come back out because you have all these people working to collect it that take that scoop off the top. That's why government's so goddamn inefficient, is simply because they cost something. You're adding an intermediary to anything. It's just like anytime you can go direct to the source when you're if you can buy direct from the manufacturer, you're going to pay less. But the government decides they've got to interject themselves into everything, and that's what causes the costs to go up.
We can let our American friends know, and our Australian friends, about the new bullshit that's going on right now with Trudeau. So if anybody has watched the news, I'm not a big news watcher, but this just comes up. There is this app that Trudeau implemented during COVID, and it was called ArriveCan. So this ArriveCan destroyed a lot of people's lives. So when they started traveling, you had to fill out this questionnaire on your app, and before you would enter back into the country, and it would depict whether or not you had to quarantine.
Some people would have to go home. Some people would have to go to a hotel.
Exactly. And I don't know how they thought this app could. What happened?
That is really weird.
I don't know how they thought this app could control who was quarantined and who wasn't, but it was live all die all, and that's what the government went by. So what happened was he hired this company that was in the basement of a cottage.
Is that what? Oh, yeah, it was,
and they weren't even an IT company. It was supposed to cost $80,000.
Yes, and
it cost $60 million. And he cannot account for where this money went.
They don't know where it went.
They do not know where it went.
And they don't even know.
$60 million.
That's the bare minimum, sweetheart.
Yeah.
They don't even know. It very well could be 10 times that. There was literally zero accounting for the entire project.
Yep.
So say $60,000 or $80,000. So 8 million. So that's 1,000 times more than it was supposed to cost.
It was supposed to cost $80,000. And Justin Trudeau just stands there in the House of Parliament with his head screwed on his neck, like with a foot up his ass. He doesn't even know, like, and you sit there and they're grilling him and all he does is he can't answer for any of it.
He just stands there like the dumbass he is.
The Auditor General or whatever is trying to investigate this, and they have to involve the RCMP to get him to release documents because the conservative or the Liberals are refusing to release documents. And this is like because they can't account, because they're saying that he was hiring his friends.
I didn't hear that.
And this is $60 million of taxpayers' money that for an app that destroyed people's lives.
How could anyone take it serious? Because I can tell you right now, the government can't even get out of bed in the morning for $80,000.
No,
I mean, they can't even.
His trip to New York was $80,000.
They can't even write a report. You couldn't even have somebody write you a report about building an app for $80,000.
And that's the other thing too. He's raising the carbon tax again in April, but the idiot just took a trip that cost $80,000 on a private plane to New York, and $80,000 it cost. But yet he can take private planes. And they're saying that our cows in Alberta are creating more CO2 emissions.
I know.
Like,
it is. I know.
Yeah,
You can't fix it.
No, you can't. I try not to watch the news because I get hot under the collar about it, and I'm just like,
It's still fun to bitch about it.
Well, it is, and because
but
he can spend $60 million to do something like this, but then he can go after. Then he has his government going after 20, 21, 22, 23-year-olds for $4,000, $10,000, $6,000, $20,000 for CERB money that they're claiming that they shouldn't have got, and expect these 21-year-old kids to pay back all this money when they actually were entitled to it. But because they think they're not, they're garnishing their wages and taking their income tax refunds and taking their GST refunds and their carbon and their climate change money that is supposed to offset this carbon tax, all because they owe the government $2,000. But this friggin' idiot can spend $60 million. Like,
that's just the drop in the bucket.
But that's not fair. Like, these poor kids, and our son's included. And this is what happened with him. He applied for EI when he got laid off.
What is EI? You need to people.
EI is unemployment insurance. During COVID, he applied for EI because he had an application for EI, which he did not get approved for. So he never received any money from EI. But because he had an application for EI, and he applied for CERB at the same time because he needed money to live, they're claiming he applied for both programs and got money from both programs, and now he has to pay back $6,000. He's 26 years old. Where is he going to get $6,000? He can barely afford to buy groceries. And
it's a mess, I'm telling you.
And they're taking his GST rebates and his climate rebates because that money is supposed to offset the carbon increase, but he can't get them because they're claiming he owes them this money.
Sandy says our government is so corrupt, and she is not wrong. And Sandy says, yep, it's weird how totalitarian the Commonwealth countries went. Ellen, who's part of the Commonwealth over in Australia, said, shake my head, mirrors the Australian government, must be the Commonwealth connection.
Oh, it's awful.
And Lone Canadian has the best comment for anybody who doesn't know. Says that's what happens when you have a part-time drama teacher playing the part of prime minister. Yeah.
I don't know how he is still.
He's very fond of his face paint though now, isn't he?
But how is he still in office? Like, I don't understand. Like,
don't say what you're thinking. I know what you're going to say. You always follow that comment up with something else. So, yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't. And it's so frustrating. It's so infuriating because, like, now I'm going to file max income taxes because, heaven forbid if you don't file your income taxes, but I'm going to file it and he'll probably be entitled to like a $1,500 refund, which they will take. And he won't get it. So, and that's not fair.
I'm going to go back to freeze drying for a minute so you can take a breath. We need Willow on here. Have you watched any of Willow's segments that I don't know if you have. So on my Thursday This Week in Prepping episode, Willow does the Sunshine Prepper. I call her my roving reporter, and she comes on with a 5-minute episode or whatever. Okay. And she'll be like, okay, everybody, we need to take a deep breath. So you'd like that. So Lone Canadian says, I tend to go with freeze-dried fruits more than anything else. Just because if shit hits the fan, we can't grow much for fruit up here. And that's a good point. Yeah, because we can't.
The fruit up here sucks.
Yeah, but you're right. And what I have found the best bang for my buck for fruit is to go to Walmart and buy the bags of sliced frozen fruit.
Yeah.
There's zero work. So for those who aren't familiar with freeze dryer, obviously it has to freeze things before it can suck the moisture out of them. So if you put pre-frozen items in there, it's going to cut almost a day or at least a half a day off of your freeze drying time. And of course, you want them pre-frozen so they don't stick together. So if you buy those bags of pre-frozen fruit, I got kiwi the other day. We're going to try that. What's great about it is you can come home and put them right into the freeze dryer. And that's what I've been doing. So yeah, I should concentrate on some more fruit before too long. Pineapple took forever. I don't know what I did wrong with that. So yeah. But Lone Canadian says because if they got rid of them, talking about Trudeau, he said we'd get freeloader, and she's even worse. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Did you see? I don't know. I was watching it the other day. One of the conservatives just shot her right down.
No.
Well, this woman. I honestly, if I was in a conversation with Krista Freeland, I'd probably punch her in the face.
She's the finance minister.
She's the one that always does this.
She's the finance minister who can't who can't count past 4.
No, and
So,
she can't communicate either,
No.
but she's always doing this. I would punch her in the face.
she's the
I mean,
one
like,
who said when Canadians were suffering that they should probably cancel their Disney Plus subscription.
yeah.
She's
No,
like,
but
yeah.
the conservatives shut her down. She's like, well, not everyone can live in downtown Toronto. It was so good. I was just like,
I'm so done with it. You know?
yeah, I know.
So,
But you imagine talking to a woman that does this all the time.
she's
I don't know.
kind of insane, actually.
No, there's something wrong with her. Yeah.
Samantha, just hang on. Samantha said over in the Telegram group, was just looking at the Harvest Rate freeze dryer site, and they're having a giveaway until the 27th of this month. So if anybody
I
goes
fill that out every time.
Yeah. You know who won one? You know, Ryan Buford, you met him at Thrivalist Fair. Yeah. He actually won one a few years ago. That's how he got into freeze drying.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
I always fill out the contest, but I never win anything.
harvestrate.com/contest. So one step closer says, who has a worse vice president, Canada or the U.S.? I'm going to go with the U.S.
Yeah. Well, actually, a comment the other day about Biden.
Yeah.
Someone said he was like a Roomba.
That's perfect. Just
When he leaves the podium, he looks like a Roomba.
the dude has just lost his anyway.
Yeah.
I did.
He's funny. He's an idiot. I couldn't stay. Yeah. But no, they're like, he called him Roomba Biden.
He is a Roomba. Yeah. He is just, I don't know what we'll do.
Well, we don't really have a vice president, though.
No, we don't.
No.
But same thing. I knew what he was getting at. And as far as that goes, it'll be funny. I like Pierre Poilievre or whatever, the conservative guy, but he will.
It's just the devil in a different color.
Oh, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Who said the other day, 2 cheeks of the same asshole? I was like, that's perfect.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And Byron Roberts says he probably lost it 20 years ago. I think he was looking for it 20 years ago and he still ain't found it.
You know what he is? He's one of those from that movie with Will Smith, the alien one.
Oh yeah.
You know, when they rip open the mask and it's like the little tiny alien inside.
Yes.
Controlling his body.
Men in Black.
Men in Black. Yeah, that's what he is.
But you know what? There's probably people behind the scenes controlling him. It's
yeah. He's a Roomba.
You know, the one that we hate, the guy that does the puppets, Jeff Dunham.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like him. There's a guy with a hand, you know.
Well, he probably has like something in his brain that's like a Bluetooth, and they control him.
It's no different than when they there was somebody not too long ago in the Senate.
There's a good patch.
That that is a good patch. One step closer. Wow, make government irrelevant again. Oh, I like that one.
That's a good patch.
There we go. So darn it, I lost where I was heading with it. It was good. You give me such a good patch there. It was awesome. But yeah. I lost it. Where were we going with the government, right?
It was something to do with
Jeff
Biden
Dunham and
the Bluetooth controls.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it. So there was a guy had a stroke. I think it was Mitch Connell or whatever it was. And he had a stroke and they like wheeled him out in his wheelchair so he could vote so they could win the whatever. And I'm pretty sure that we're just in a really protracted version of Weekend at Bernie's. This is Weekend at Bernie's 3, except it's been going on for 4 years and Joe Biden's been dead since before the last election.
So all the Americans
Weekend at Biden's. There you go.
All the Americans online I don't know if it's truth or not, but is Michelle Obama running?
No, it'd be too late for that.
I don't know. I just seen it. I don't know if it's true or not, but like I don't know. It looks like well, someone said Michelle Obama was running, so I don't know. Is she running?
I don't think she can. I think I think it's pretty much a done deal that it.
Okay, it's Trump and Biden again.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure, unless I misunderstand.
I don't know. I was just curious.
Politics,
I know I don't. Yeah, no, you shouldn't get your news from like Facebook and TikTok and stuff. But I was just curious. That's all.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I don't know. Oh, look at we've been good for an hour now, and then we start talking about politics, and CIA's like, here you go.
There's the feds.
I know you're a Canadian, but
no, I was just curious. Like it's. No.
Oh, she can. Okay, said not too late. So apparently she can try at the Democratic National Conference, DNC. So.
So is she trying?
Oh, the Dems could replace Biden at the convention.
With her?
Well, with anybody, I assume. I think they have to vote and they have to, choose.
I'm not a huge fan of hers either. So.
No, whatever. You know what? It was kind of interesting, Politically Incorrect, that old show with Bill Maher. He has his own show, a different show now. And he's left. He is far left on the liberal spectrum. And he said the other day, he asked, he goes, do you know which sitting president fired the most bombs and deported the most immigrants? And the answer to every one of those questions, Barack Obama.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. I was like, holy shit.
Even after Bush.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
way more than Bush. I was like, holy
Interesting.
shit. Yeah. And just to boot, they also give him the Nobel Peace Prize. Can you imagine what the fuck, right?
Well, he made peace with the bombs, man.
Yeah, he made pieces with people. That's what he did.
Well, yeah,
so.
but if you drop enough bombs, the peace is gonna come, right?
I don't
The shit
know.
will stop.
Yeah, so I just don't understand why he's looked at so highly. You know,
I wasn't a huge fan, but
I thought he was going to do good before he went in, but then I realized that he ran up against the same thing everybody ran up against. I mean, I'll say the same thing about Trump. I don't like any of them. And when it comes down to it, he said he was going to drain the swamp, and the swamp's as full as it ever was. So nobody can actually change shit because we have this entire system that's been wound up for fun. Yeah.
I just like Trump because he's funny.
Oh, sure. He makes good sound bites.
He does. Like he honestly, like I don't even really listen to what he has to say. I just think he's hilarious. Like when you get watched him, you're like, man, this guy, because he just zero shits given.
Absolutely.
And I think that is so great.
Oh,
like,
I
it's
love
so
him.
funny. He just tells it how it is. And I think that's
it
funny.
seems like every time. So did you see the other day? It was like he just got a fine for like $360 million.
But he just sits there and he's like, I don't give a fuck. He just doesn't.
It's like
care.
the guy that keeps playing Monopoly, even though you've taken all his money, all his properties.
He just doesn't. And that's the thing. Like I don't like, you know, like whether he was good or not, or you love him or hate him or anything. I just like the idea that I just like the fact that he just tells you how it is.
Sure.
And it's just like,
and he probably knows that he'll be long dead before anybody ever anybody could ever collect on him anyway.
Well, and like you watched him in the courthouse, and they're like, yeah, you got to pay back like $359 million, and he's just like,
fake news.
Just like, this guy's great.
Nothing phases him, but I mean,
just don't care. No.
He must be just about 80 years old, isn't
Oh
he?
yeah. Well, he's at that age where he like says what he wants, does what he wants, and like he doesn't
He's
care.
like what happens when a well-to-do old person or a well-to-do person gets old. They can say what they want, they can do what they want,
and they think there's no consequences to their actions. And if there is, they don't care.
Like my grandmother, God rest her soul, you know?
Right?
She would say the meanest thing. She'd be like, man, if I had a neck like that, I'd put a scarf around it. She used to say this.
But then that's the thing. And it's like, and they don't, it's like, well, you know what it is? It's like, as you get older, it's like your brain reverses to what, like, childish.
Sure.
Because like when you're kids have no tact.
No.
Right. And like one will walk right up to you and say, oh, you're ugly or you're fat or whatever. And they don't like, they're not saying it to be mean. They're just saying it because it's an observation. Right. And they don't sugarcoat it.
Like that time at church when I was a kid, and I looked at Mom and I said, "Oh, Mom, that lady's bum stinks."
Exactly right. But you're not saying it to be hurtful or to be mean. You're just saying it because
you don't have
the filter,
right?
And you don't have the tact, and you're a child and you're observing it,
right? I
think once you get past a certain age, you just revert back to that, and you don't care about your consequences.
I think Dad used to quote this. I think it's in the book of Proverbs, but or one of the Old Testament books, and it says, "Once a man, twice a child."
Yep.
And that really is the truth, because most people, you hit a point where you have to wear diapers and you can't feed yourself and you piss your pants. But
you just get to that point where you just don't give a shit anymore. And Trump is at that point. He just don't care. And I like love him or hate him. I just think he's funny. Cool. Should he be on Twitter and social medias? Probably not, but
that's like saying, should my grandmother have still driven when she was 85? No, we know the answer to that. We do.
But is he going to stop? No, because he don't care, right?
No, he'll go until he, the thing.
I don't understand.
Yeah, the thing is that Biden is well past that point.
Biden doesn't even have a clue. Like he can't even defend himself.
No, not at
all.
Like
Trump will stand there and put him right through the ringer, and he just stands there with a friggin' stupid grin on his face, and he doesn't even know what day of the week it is.
Not even a little bit. It blows me out of the water. I don't know what'll it. Jesus, what do you say? Like it's like you get to pick which person's going to punch you in the face, because I don't think either candidate is much of a choice.
Mm-mm.
And
but at least Trump's entertaining.
How do you have a country of 350 million people? And whoever runs for president is supposed to be the top notch, cream of the crop. So you take 350 million people and you pull the top two out, and you get a geriatric Alzheimer's patient,
Roomba,
and a dude who looks like an Oompa Loompa. And
with a mouth.
Like nobody's business. Yeah. And those are the two best. How do you?
I don't understand why your guys' presidents are like geriatric age.
I don't
understand. Like, I like when they put Trudeau in office, everyone was like, holy shit, he's like 40. Yeah. Right? Like, and it's like,
and we were happy because it was our first female prime minister.
Well, we were happy because he was 40 and we thought, man, he's going to be like us.
I was never happy.
But like, I don't know. I just don't understand the whole geriatric thing. Like most of these guys, like they probably wear Depends at bedtime, right? So
one step closer says, don't blame me. I voted for Kudos, from The Simpsons. Yeah. It's very good point, Jeremy. Very, very good point. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I don't know. I think Trump's entertaining. I enjoy watching him.
And if you guys want to see
stuff, he's funny.
See good clips, check out Pierre Poilievre or Poilievre, however you pronounce it.
He is like the Canadian Trump.
So if you've seen that, the viral video from a few months ago where the
he's eating the apple.
He's eating the apple, and the reporter is busting his balls, and he's like,
just doesn't give a shit.
He's so smart. He's so quick-witted. Mm-hmm. There really is some really interesting individuals right now in modern society who still use logic, which blows me away, because we're working through that book, Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged, which and I know you haven't read it, but you've heard a lot of it in the background while I was listening while we drove. And that's the whole idea, is you have a few people in there who use logic, who talk and actually use facts to prove things. And everybody else just sits there and talks in circles. And the political doublespeak.
The press don't like him at all, because he basically hands them their asses, and they don't like him because like they will try to back him into a corner and then he'll look right at him and he'd be like, no, that's false. And then they'll keep interrupting him, and then he'll be like, if you stop talking, I will tell you the truth.
Would you like me to answer your question?
Would you like me to answer the question? You have to. And then he called her a mouthpiece. Yeah. Because she wouldn't stop, and he was trying to answer her question, and what she was stating was completely false. And she got her panties right up in a bunch because he told her that.
And the other day he's like, well, excuse me, Mrs. Reporter. He says, who do you work for? And it was either the CBC or some
Canadian Press.
Canadian Press. He goes, Canadian Press. He goes, oh, now I understand why you're against government cuts. He says, because you're a government-funded mouthpiece, and if we made government cuts, you'd lose your job. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing that Trudeau did. He gave, how much did he give Bell? 600 million?
Oh yeah,
he gave Bell Canada, which is our major telecom company up here in Canada. He gave them an absurd amount of money to prevent people from getting laid off, and they just laid off a shit ton of people, and they can't account for where all the money went.
So I didn't know this about, apparently there's an anarcho-capitalist president who just got elected in Argentina.
No, it's Argentina. Are they communist?
I thought they were.
Or is that Venezuela?
I guess not. I don't know. Yeah.
That might be Venezuela.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I didn't know. Let's check this.
He looks crazy.
Is that? Oh, it is him. I thought that was an old lady with a chainsaw. Well, let's check this out here. So it says, chainsaw in hand, anarcho-capitalist Javier Milei upends Argentina's politics. His legion of fans call him the crazy in the wig due to his ferocity and unruly mop of hair, while he refers to himself as the lion. He thinks sex education is a Marxist plot to destroy the family, views his clone mastiffs as his children with four paws. Why is that a problem, that he views his dogs as children, and has raised the possibility people should be allowed to sell their own vital organs? Well, if you want to, I have no problem with it. Just don't force them to.
But why?
Interesting. So
why are those even issues?
Well, no, he's just there. Yeah. They're trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. This dude is the type of guy who believes in free choice. 100% free choice. Just like, if you ask me who I am, I tell people I'm an anarcho-capitalist, right? I believe people should have free choice and free market, and I love it. I had no idea this dude even came to power. It looks like I'm going to have to do an article on him on Thursday's show. So, what a dude! Look at the picture. I love it, and it's a gas-powered one too. He's like, yeah, fuck them green guys, He's like, I ain't using a battery-powered one. I'm using gas.
But what's the chainsaw supposed to be doing?
I don't know. I'm sure it's just one of them things, to make a big stink. He's like, hey, I'm going to cut down, drain the swamp or cut down the trees, right? So interesting. He looks like he's out of he looks like a background actor in
like Willy Wonka or something.
Scarface. He looks like
he looks like Willy Wonka.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I had no idea. We will have to explore him just a little bit more, won't we, baby? Anything else in the news lately that's got under your craw and pissed you off? Nothing really?
No.
Are you sure?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think there's been much that you've said. What did we watched a movie the other night? It's but the only one. It was called Dinner in America.
Yeah.
And I forgot. I loved that movie. It was great. It wouldn't be for everybody.
No.
But it would be I'd say it's a mix between Ghost World and Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
But a little more serious, wouldn't you? Yeah. And if you're into indie films and weird films and you got some time to watch it, watch it. It was one that got missed during COVID because it came out in 2020. And I'm actually surprised it didn't get more traction because the acting was good.
It was all right.
It was a fun story.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just that we've seen so many shit movies lately.
There isn't any movies to see.
I know. Yeah. So One Step Closer says he's trying to cut over half the government and close their central bank. Interest. Okay. Man, that would be awesome. That's what I would do if I ran for prime minister.
Why don't you?
I'd be like, all right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do I know you have to, I would love to do away with taxes, but we do a flat tax rate. So we do away with the IRS. And the first day in office, I'm like, all right, Canada Post, you're fucking gone.
Can't stand Canada Post.
No, tell me I can't send a patch or an envelope. No, but really, it's an absolute waste of money.
Yeah, it is.
So there's so much that we could do away with tomorrow.
And yeah.
I don't know. Will you be my what is it, assistant prime minister?
I ain't getting involved in government.
No, I ain't either.
I got too much of a big mouth.
Last time I did that, it was a big mistake.
I'll get myself in trouble. So
yes, that's all right. Well, Mrs. Cook,
I got to be able to get across the border.
That's true. That is the biggest thing.
So tell them what you're doing.
What am I doing?
Well, you're leaving in a couple weeks.
Oh, yeah. Whatever. I've mentioned it a few times. But yeah, so March either 19th or 20th, I'm hitting the road.
Yeah.
I'll be gone this will be the longest road trip yet. 6 weeks, I think. So. Yeah. Somewhere around March 20th. And I'll be back here around May 10th.
Yeah. And we'll be at SRF and we'll be at LFTN.
Right. So I'm going to be speaking at Kentucky Sustainable Living Festival. Then you're coming down for SRF.
Yep.
So you're going to go to SRF with me. You're bringing the girls down. So the twins are going to finally meet our imaginary internet friends.
Yes. And they're bringing a whole bunch of Canadian snacks to sell at SRF.
Yes, they are.
They're really pumped about it. They're little entrepreneurs. So
they're
bringing everything that you guys can't get down in the States.
Yeah. All a bunch of American candies or Canadian candies. So.
Yeah. So they're bringing all that down for everyone to buy.
You're flying back with the girls.
Yes.
And then a couple of weeks later, you're flying back down
for LFTN
to go with me. And if all goes well, you're going to go to the Mountain Readiness Festival.
That's still up in the air.
That's up in the air. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. I'm hoping it will, but I totally get it if you don't.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be at that one as well. So that's in Harmony, North Carolina. And then I'm going to be driving back after that. Yeah. And in between, then I'm going to be working on the property. So we're going to maybe try to do another work day because we're trying to
plan a couple work days.
Yes.
In fact, remember we wanted to do 2 or 3 work days.
We'll just leave it open for whoever wants to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like we were trying to do that. We're trying to plan, we were trying to plan a couple work days so that, we have it set in stone of dates. And then roughly we know like how much food we have to have and everything. Cause I want to supply food and stuff. So.
Ellen says she heard that one in Illinois was canceled. I heard this morning. Not sure what it was called. Was that the one that the Changing Earth? Oh my God! I do the voices for the book there or whatever.
Yeah.
There was a women's conference in Illinois. It was women in preparedness or something.
You might want to double check.
It wasn't one I was going to.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, no, we're good for that. And it sounds like we're going to be doing the workshop get together in Illinois again this year at Nate and Aaron's. So yes, thank you, Sarah. Yeah, Sarah from the Changing Earth podcast. So I talk to her all the time, so she'll shoot me if I forgot her name over live. We've been 2 hours in, we're doing good. But Lone Canadian, yes, you need to come down and have a coffee with us before come and see me and the dogs and the missus. So
yeah, and then
it's gonna be a good trip. I'm gonna get a shit ton done on the property. The plan is to get the cabin extended 4 times.
It'd be nice to get a couple more built.
Yes, that's my plan. I mean, the budget's there for it. It's just the time, right?
Well, that's why I meant if we had a couple work days, then if people can attend, then we can split them up.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'll be fun. And so I'm looking at kind of quadrupling the floor space of our original cabin, building an outdoor shower house, building a composting toilet right next to the main property. So we have one.
Yep.
That'll be, because I'm going to be, the other cool thing is I'm going to be living on the land while I'm there, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, you got a Starlink.
Yeah, I got a Starlink, so I'm going to be able to stream right from there. And the cool thing is, it means I can work from sun up to sunset, just pace myself and do my shit, and get my supplies.
Yeah, and you're taking down a little barbecue and everything.
Gonna have a barbecue, and I'm going to leave this time not on the property, but I'm taking down my big solar generator, and it's going to be left in the storage container when I'm not there. But that's going to be my power source. Hopefully put in some rain catchment. We'll just see where we end up. But the idea is to at least have our property ready so that you would stay there with me, because you need a shower and we need a nice big bed, which is fair. No problem. And then we've got, the plan is to have 4 other cabins, right? So 5
so
altogether.
people can come and stay.
Yeah, come and stay, but also to do hip camp.
Yep.
So we can rent them out and start making a little bit of income from it.
Yes.
I'm excited, and maybe cut some paths so I have some areas to walk and different things.
And we need to have something built so we can take some dogs down with us.
Yes, and the girls haven't seen the property yet, so it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, and that 6 weeks will go like a bugger. That's going to go so fast, but it's going to be even longer than the last road trip, but cheaper because no hotels, or a lot less hotels this time for me. So yeah, I think that's, unless another event comes in that time on a weekend that I'm available, that'll be the events I'm going to on this trip. So 4, I'd do one every weekend if I could while I was down there, because make the best of your time. But at least the 4 for the time being. And yeah, I got a message today about going on the podcast. I don't have a hard date on it yet, but the one that Angry American runs, it's tied in with the Mountain Readiness Festival, so that'll be a good time. And even though I'll be gone a while, we won't be apart for very long, a couple of weeks at a time, so it'll be kind of nice.
Yeah, as long as I've already told everybody that I'm going, so I'm just hoping there's not going to be any hiccups. So
you are actually committed to speak at SRF.
I know, so
that's a done deal. You have to be there for that, that, so that's fine. And it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, like I said, like everybody knows, so they'll be able to hold down the forts.
Oh, they'll get over it. Yeah. Do you think the new daycare will be open by then?
Oh, frig, I hope so.
I think it will be.
Oh, I'm getting tired of this dragged out process. So.
Me too. Yeah.
Well, Tuesday should be hardcore, getting everything done that I need to get done, hopefully.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You got the women to do all the bulletin boards and stuff with you.
Yeah, but it's the inspections.
Yeah, we finally got the fire one was done. Did you get your paper from him?
No, he said I'll get it Tuesday because it was late in the afternoon. They didn't get it done up. So
he said
drag it out longer.
Lone Canadian said if you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans. Yeah. Oh, you want to hear it laugh, tell the government your plans. I'll be like, oh, sorry, I know you wanted that done in a week. Well, 4 to 6 weeks later.
Yeah, it's been like 3 months.
That's really what happens, isn't it? So.
Yeah.
All right, baby. We hit 2 hours. What do you think? Is that good? You want to try to watch a movie tonight or something?
There's
just relax. No, I know. I'm going to go in and check on the ground beef in the freeze dryer. I think it should be done. I put a shit ton in there. So
gonna pull out some dinner for tomorrow.
Oh yeah. You bought some pre-made dinners from a lady.
Yeah, so I'm getting tired of the girls eating ramen noodles every night.
Yeah, what do you have for supper? Kraft dinner and ramen noodles. So
Alice, what'd you have for supper? Dragon fruit and ramen.
We had this is a good show tonight. We kept the audience the whole time. I think we topped out at 19 and we still have 17 in here. So
I'm not sick of you yet.
No, they come for your pretty face, so I always said I have a face for radio. So I don't know why I live stream, because I think people would be better off listening to me on the audio, don't you? So all right, folks, we appreciate you very much. Thanks for hanging around with us. Thanks for listening to us bitch about politics. And I hope we picked up a few new viewers from the Amazon thing, because I think we'll end up seeing quite a long tail of people watching the show. That's why I front loaded it with the Amazon stuff so people can see it, right? So
make sure you put the links in there for Canada.
Yes, I'll get the Canadian links in there, and all the American links for everything we talked about earlier are all in every description. So anyway, folks, we love you. As always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week.